Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures relatively unchanged this morning. We're trying to get back into positive territory here ever so slightly. We saw a bit of a muted session yesterday as well, with the S&P 500 up about 0.1% at the end of the day. Overall, still holding on to a 3+% gain for the week. So nice week so far. Big earnings to get through this morning. We had eBay, PayPal, Qualcomm all out aftermarket yesterday. We'll talk about all three. eBay easily outperforming the group aftermarket and this morning as well. We'll talk about PayPal trading higher this morning as well. Apple shares, meanwhile, back in focus, up about 2% this morning on a Reuters report suggesting they're close to a deal with Kia that will see them team up to create the Apple car, the autonomous EV Apple car with Kia, apparently. Meanwhile, weekly jobless claims numbers out this morning also showing 779,000 versus 830,000 jobless claims expected, so a little bit better than expected. Once again, we'll get the January jobless numbers coming out tomorrow morning at 8:30 as well. It's Thursday, February 4th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There's a look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Pretty red right across the board here. Just India there, the Nifty in India up 0.7%. Japan and also Korea 1+% to the downside. We'll go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up. Pretty muted here, mostly positive. England down 0.2%. The rest, though, looking decent to start. We'll have a look at North American markets here as well. 0.5% for the NASDAQ so far. 0.12 for the Dow, the S&P in positive territory, also 0.5%. You can see again for Bitcoin, crazy moves in crypto land in general overnight. We'll talk about that coming up here in a second. 0.7% to the upside so far for crude oil and gold to the downside so far this morning. Good morning, guys. Another day, we had Dogecoin, 75% move overnight. I thought this thing was supposed to be a joke, wasn't it?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a little dog on the cover here. Let me. I'm gonna find. I think it's up to what, 5 cents now. I mean, this is just what happens. We saw the mass hysteria obviously last week. Here we go. I'll just call up just a Yahoo chart here because we don't have it on our platform, of course. But here's the 1 month. Maybe I can make a full screen. Will this work? Yeah. So it was basically down here left for dead. Like that's 0.0034. So like less than a third of a cent or less than a third of a cent. And then something happened. I have no idea really what, other than, you know, it's Dogecoin. So goes to the upside. And now you're trading at 5-6 cents a coin. So even yesterday, 3 cents up to 5 cents, topped out at 6 again. Yeah, this is looking crazy. Maybe it's better if I do a 5-day chart. Yeah, and then, I mean, we're trading up here now. Let's see, there it is. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. But yeah, 3 cents basically yesterday all the way to 5.5, 5 3/4. So yeah, it's just another one of those coins that's going nuts. Obviously, Ether yesterday, ETH touched all-time highs as well. So that's going to be, you know, a little bit more of an investment. Obviously, Dogecoin, a little bit more of a gamble, but we see everybody on the chat talking about it. The reason why we don't talk about crypto as much, I trade crypto and hold crypto, but we don't have it on our platform right here. So I trade it, hold it, and I like Cardano. ADA is my big one. That's gone from 15 to 40 cents in the last month or so.
Yeah, I mean, you can always trade some equities, and we've talked about those when they're a little bit more movement, whether it's your Mars, your Riots, things along that nature. There we go. Actually, I was about to note that there was possibly an issue with the position board, but it looks like it is working out okay. One of the names on the watch list already into a bit of a short, and no news on that AACG, whatever it might be. It's been an interesting week, of course. You know, the winding down of some of these meme stock trades. Maybe they're done, maybe they're not. And I saw Naked Brands make a bit of a move yesterday while the rest were sleeping. Today is just a monster lineup of earnings. I mean, one of the big blowouts was probably going to be eBay, of course. You're going to see just 9% still holding the highs after the post market. There's some news that dropped this morning. There were earnings this morning in Nokia. I just saw Sean tweeting out CLOVs. Negative short sell report affecting CLOV. And then, of course, there's another SPAC, which some of you guys might have noticed today. So we'll be talking about that one as well. There's a SPAC. I want to say there's a SPAC once a day, Brendan, but there's probably like 2 or 3 SPACs every single day.
Yeah, I think it's
23andMe.
I think it's up to multiple SPACs a day now. But yeah, Clover Health, Hindenburg talking bad about Clover Health. So heads up. If anyone is involved in Clover Health, let's have a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. More great opportunities coming out of a mix of markets here at number 1 again. Some Canadian content, mostly U.S., otherwise 121,000. I got to go all the way down to outside of the top 10 here, I think, to get away from the 5-figure club. But lots of great opportunities. Some European markets there producing 24,000 once again this morning. Valeria is joining us as always, as we mentioned this week and next week as well. Going to be remote as she continues her quarantine after being out of the country last week. Good morning, V.
Good morning, Brendan, and hi, traders. I wish you a productive, profitable day. Please subscribe to our channel, hit thumbs up, and let's get it started, Brendan.
All right, yes, let's indeed get it started, guys. Lots to get through this morning. As we mentioned, big time earnings to talk about. We had that Clover Health making moves to the downside here. It is trying to hold, guys. Obviously, recently transitioned from the SPAC to this is a social capital, or was a social capital SPAC that recently transitioned to that CLOV. If you go to the daily chart, it's actually trying to hold the lows here since it did move to that CLOV symbol.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's trying. It just broke it again down to that 1310 was the previous low, and it did break once when the news dropped. Negative report, short sell report. It actually made a significant rebound, if you want to call it. But it's all pre-market action. Although the volume is ticking up rather significantly, it's like 3.5 million now, and it just broke the low. So one of the things that you would have looked for certainly is if it could have put in that higher low, maybe there's a bit of a bounce play. It's so far from the open, however, just sort of keep that in mind. There's going to be volume that's going to come in at 9:30, and certainly it's going to be a heavily traded name throughout the day. There's a bit of a pattern, and that I've noticed, and we've talked about this one before, sometimes after the show, with these short sell reports. If on the second day, sometimes even the third day, you have any kind of an obvious support. Now, this, of course, being a recent SPAC, there's not going to be any levels that we can see on that daily chart other than that low that we just looked at. But if you get sort of an obvious leveling off at the bottom, any kind of support that holds. So I'm talking about if we get back above that 13, so you get a bit of a fall, we recover back to that 13, second day, third day, and it doesn't drive the stock any further down. There's no momentum to that short. A lot of times you will see a recovery, whether you want to call it a squeeze. It doesn't really matter what it is, but typically some buying does come into it. Some shorts that piled in on the report could be looking to exit if there is an immediate momentum to that trade, and a lot of times that's like a day 2 or day 3 phenomenon.
Yeah, Clover, I mean, we wake up here, and I just tweeted out about DraftKings. I mean, another big one, man. And again, we're raking it in right now on some of these positions, including this DraftKings, a new deal here with Canada, expanding their NFL fantasy into that up here in Canada. Oh, yeah, here we go. Hit the Canada thing. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, so DraftKings today, you can see a beautiful move to the high side. Looking to take out this high right now of all-time highs, 64, 65. I mean, what a beautiful buy this was down here in the 40s. And we were telling, we loaded up, and we loaded up down here 35, 36. And congratulations to anybody that played off this 50-period moving average. It seems to be genius right now on some of these stocks. I like NEO, and then we'll talk about PayPal soon as well. But what another big quarter for PayPal. Again, my pick of 2020 just continues to roll through 2021. Forget about banks, man. This is the new bank. You're going to be hearing a lot about PayPal over the next little while if you haven't already. And yeah, I mean, breaking out. Yeah, I mean, it already broke out. It broke out from 213 over here, made some consolidation. Then it's gone from 220. So I've been loving PayPal for a long time. I'm long at 108 right here on PayPal and loving life in this name. I also like Square, and it's also enjoying a big run up from this crypto boom. So yeah, very exciting day. We'll look to keep it going today on the show. It's going to be an exciting one. We have Lewis coming on as well very soon, with Arun coming in a second as well. So yeah, we're excited. It's going to be a big day. And hell yeah, it's a Thursday, a couple more days till Super Bowl. Not super excited about this Super Bowl, but it's football and it's the last game, so we'll watch it.
It's funny how DraftKings comes out with this positive news, makes a big move in the pre-market the same morning that Penn National reports not so great earnings. So yes, both on the watch list this morning. We'll touch on both coming up here and come up with a plan as we head towards the open. It is 20 minutes to 9 in the Eastern time zone. Let's bring on Luis Barbado from Barcelona, where we are already in the afternoon. There he is. Good morning, Luis. Day Trade the World office in Barcelona. Good to see you as always. Crazy week, I mean, to say the least. We spoke last week on Thursday when this was kind of just ramping up, and in the midst of the craziness, we seem to be dying off here as far as the volume and the volatility. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's a very good week as the last months. I mean, every day we have a lot of opportunities, and it's going to be the same today. We have a very nice watch list, a couple of tech sectors very active, earnings. So you got all kind of scenarios, no matter what kind of trader you are. We are in excellent markets these days. So yeah, it's going to be a nice day. Looks like again.
Out of these crazy stocks that have just been doing, really impressive volume day by day, SNDL, we have Naked Brands moving again this morning. Seemed a little bit stronger than the rest late in the day yesterday. Is there one or two of these that you guys have been focusing on over the past couple of days?
Yeah, we've been trading very active. Lizzie, LIZI, yesterday. Today is the third day running up, so we're gonna have a look. It's running from $4 to $11 in 3 days. Let's see today if it holds there. If it breaks $12, it's gonna be a very nice stock to watch. Yesterday was our best stock in the office. Let's see. We're expecting maybe today sort of squeeze over 12, and then we see some bleeding down a little bit of the movement of this stock. We've been trading LODE, LODA, I think it was on Tuesday or Monday, I don't remember. It was an unbelievable nice name on Amex market as well. But today, I'm gonna share a screen here. We're trading Lisi, Atos, there it goes. Lisi, Atos, and AACG, China name, is gonna be very active today. Although the pre-market is a little bit weak, we would love have to hold a little bit more, but it's bleeding already in pre-market. So I think Liti and Atos are going to be the two names on the small cap world more active. And then we're going to have a look at Mara in the $25 resistance. It's a very important level, technically resistance, very important. And AVXL as well. We have all-time highs on $22 pre-market touch there, and we have in a consolidation here, $18, $17. So it's going to be a nice stock today as well.
Yeah, Cassava Sciences, pretty impressive move over the past couple of sessions here. I want to talk about that ATA Creativity Global, which is that AACG. Very, very low float on this one. Micro cap company, in fact, 43 million on the market cap for AACG. We weren't able to really come up with anything as far as news or a catalyst behind this move this morning. How much caution do you put towards a stock like this when it's doing this kind of volume in the pre-market on seemingly no news?
Yeah, it even has no news. So for us, it could be a short bias, absolutely. Let's see if this $4 hold, okay, it's an important level there in the technical analysis pre-market. There's no news. So for us, if it doesn't go through $4, we're gonna go short bias on this name. Yes.
And when it comes to such a small float on this, you run the risk of kind of getting blown out through the top. Talk about how important it is to control that upside or downside if you are trying to short in that case.
Yeah, you have to be very aware always about going front side, what it's called in trading front side. So going against the momentum, against the trend. You could say as well. So if it goes over $4, you're going front side very dangerous on a low float name. Without news, yeah, but these weeks, the market is pretty crazy. So it can go without news longer and longer than you expect. So over $4, we have to be aware of going front side against this name with low float. It's a China name. We have had this week and the week before a lot of China names very active and moving higher and higher. So it's all about also the sector or the country you're trading in, not only about all the news related to it.
Thanks, Luis. I just want to come to that because I'm actually looking at the stock, already made a few trades in it today. And, you talked about that 4 level in having a short bias. I actually was looking at this level, a couple levels. So 340 was the first one, short off that once, and then now looking at this like 360 level. I usually like a couple of looks, not necessarily at 930 or going into 930, but if it's a little bit earlier on in the pre-market, I like to play some of these like pullback type areas. And so 360, I was also watching. Obviously, you talked about the $4 area, and this leads me into that open, because I've sort of said this, and I'm still sort of sticking to this rule. That right at like let's call it 9:25 to 9:30 for me, and sometimes maybe a couple of minutes into the open, I'll resist adding into short positions if I'm going against the grain, just on the anticipation that there might be that late money that comes in off of the open, and it just feels like when that exhausts itself, if you've stayed away from that, that's a good shot. Now, I know everyone has a different style, but is that something or a time period that you take into consideration on your trades? Do you avoid that first that 925, maybe 935 area for digging in against the grain, or is it just something that you trade your system and it doesn't really matter the timing of those trades?
We trade the system and we look very deeply the level 2. So if it's safe to trade there, no matter what the time is, we go in. It is true that it could be a little bit of FOMO to go there just 5 minutes before the market opens, because you don't want to skip the trade. You don't want to miss the trade. And sometimes it's better to wait for the open. If it's only 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes away, the open, you wait for the open and you might get a better price. And a better price is not always that it's more expensive or low. It is more safe sometimes. So maybe you wait for the open and get $4.10 or get $3, but it's safer to get this price once it opens. And also in this kind of stocks, in the opens, we sometimes see a short squeeze or long squeeze, and then we see green to red or red to green movement. So, sometimes it's better to wait for the bell and see what's going on there.
Yeah, and of course, just to clarify, when you say like a squeeze, it doesn't necessarily, we're not talking like, GameStop and meme stops. It's just, it's just an overwhelming, and actually I'll show you right here because I just got out of this one here. It's just an overwhelming amount of buy demand relative to liquidity on the offer. And whether it's 50% short interest or 10% short interest, this is all about supply and demand. So for me, anticipating that there might actually not be a lot of liquidity above like 360, I just was mentioning to you guys live, that was my second area to short in front of 340 and then 360. When 360 broke, it immediately goes up 10 cents. Now, this actually has a little more offer liquidity than I was anticipating up here. You're seeing some orders get thrown in. So it might turn out that this is a pretty liquid stock, but in the pre-market, you sort of have to make those determinations. And this is why you'll see Brendan talk about the size of the float and why it can be a little bit dangerous to play this game. Just before I throw you back to Brendan Lewis, when it comes to sort of these meme stocks and when we talk about naked brands, and it's certainly been moving around at least a little bit, even if some of the other names have definitely slowed down. Do you anticipate that there might be, say, more action in some of these other gap trades? So like your AACGs, which are going to be moving around a little bit more. Do you think there'll be more action, more volume, more volatility in those post GameStop, or do you think it's sort of, okay, we're back to where we were maybe a month ago with some of these types of plays?
I think we are slowly going back to normal life. I think, it was the same with Kodak. You remember the Kodak moment? We got like 1 week crazy that every time that something was running, we're going parabolic. I think we're going to go back normal to, let's say, rational movement, normal movement. So we are already anticipating that it's not going to happen, this parabolic movement. So we are expecting normal movements, and that's why we're making a lot of money in stocks like Litzy, Lode, and this kind of, let's say, not so crazy movement, but within the rational trading environment.
Yeah, and you say back to normal, and I jokingly will tell you, yeah, we're back to normal when Kodak makes a parabolic move and then just fades right after it. I mean, it was sort of it was classic in the afternoon because it came back, and I'm just going to show you guys the chart here. Of course, the news came out. There was talk about the partnership with Microsoft months ago, and then an update there with that printing service, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, there was a gap. There was a halt here, like a 1175, right? So I love these halt prices. I mean, it didn't end up mattering in terms of exact a level. But the second parabolic move up, once we get back below, and you can call it this retracement bounce just below 12, you can say 1175, you could say a VU up at the time. It actually didn't matter. Once it had failed below there, there was just every single rally got sold, which was exactly what Kodak would do before. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because that's what I'm kind of going to look for if AACG would blow through the top and go parabolic, is if it breaks a high and then you get some halts to the upside and it does one of those moves, then you start to just wait. Either if you're good enough to catch the turn and you get like a 1280 like Kodak did, fine. You get the lower high, you get the top, good on you. But sometimes just when it breaks down and then the second half of the day and it's coming back in all the way, it can be the safest trade, Louis. So I want to make sure everyone saw that on Kodak here. And I think you said you were looking at that today?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not sure if today is going to be active today, but 2 points about Kodak here. You got after the halted, a nice, very long washout, what we call long washout after the halted. So it's halt on the upside. It's moving down just for a few seconds, 3, 4, 5 seconds down, so that people can buy there, and then we go to new highs. It's a long washout trade that we used to call it here. And then on the movement down, I saw you on Twitter trading the way I like it, short all the time, taking profits, going short again, taking profits, very fast trade, like 1, 2, 3 minutes all the way down. And I love that. I think I commented you in Twitter. That looked pretty much like a chart of our academy here in Barcelona.
Yeah, it was sort of gorgeous in the afternoon there, but thank you, Luis. We love talking to you. Best of luck, of course, trading today. Let's go get those markets. I'll send you back to Bren.
Thank you.
Luis Barbado from the Barcelona Day Trade the World office. Great stuff as always, Luis. We'll speak again next week.
Thank you. See you next week, Brendan.
There we go, guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you sign up for the watch list that we send out every single morning, the Morning Movers Note. We can have a look at it right here. We send it right to your inbox before we come on at 8:30. Has all the stocks moving around in the pre-market and a little write-up on why they are moving around. You even get video at the bottom there. So if you haven't done so again, make sure you sign up for the Morning Movers watch list. Valeria will help you out in the chat if you need the link for that. Let's jump into that watch list. Have a look at a few of these names that are moving this morning, guys. eBay, the first one we'll talk about here. Yeah, we were talking about 10% to the upside, both aftermarket yesterday, again this morning, right across the board. A huge blowout report for eBay. It was the active users number that was a really huge number on the upside. That really lifted, but the EPS, the revenue, the profit even blowout for eBay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to see it. You know what, before we say this, I just want to throw out there that it's not on our watch list, but Canada Goose, man, big up 20%, whether you look at Toronto or US, same thing. So maybe not enough trading to actually get on the watch list because it's not very heavy, but hey, not bad for that Canadian content. We're talking a little bit about all the earnings that were there. I always love to see when a name holds up with the aftermarket levels. Now, you take these with a grain of salt, but there is decent amount of liquidity and volume that does come in on specific names or some names post earnings. eBay did have a solid amount of volume, maybe not as much as you'd see when you get some of the bigger names report, but either way, it's holding all of those dip levels, at least so far this morning. However, it is a very, very slow grind down. Now, it's only 400,000 shares. eBay does not do a ton of volume. Relatively speaking, this is a lot, but it is sort of grinding down. And if it tests, I'm looking sort of at this first level, 62.60, and then 61.50 to the downside. If it takes out those, I'd be very, very shocked. One of the reasons for that is eBay, daily trade not actually going back further than January, but we don't need it to because this is a fresh break through that high, and this is 60. That's 60.50. 60.50 is not the previous high. There was a 61.50 high that it broke through just recently, and that's the reason why I think I'd be a little bit shocked if it wasn't able to hold up at that 61.50 level on any kind of a dip. So it's not doing a ton of pre-market volume here. The one trade I'm going to like to look to see is if you can catch that 61.50. The top also just happened yesterday to be at 65 even. So I'll be watching for that. As long as we've held the higher low, that little 62.50, then I'd look for that 65 break. But otherwise, if they continue this little slide that's happening into the open, I'd be shocked if we don't get a chance to buy in front of 61.50 as support.
Look, yesterday eBay broke out right here through $60. So it's already broken out. It's already up. So absolutely no surprise here. They come with a better report than expected, and it makes a move. And whatever, people stuck at home selling stuff. I heard Josh Brown yesterday saying that they should have beat by more because everybody's stuck at home selling their garbage or whatever eBay sells. I mean, eBay's good. Like it's I don't know. It's been taken over obviously by Amazon and things like that. There's obviously a lot of used goods sold on there, and I think that that's been very, very popular. That's not my opinion. I've used eBay. I like eBay Deals. There's actually a spot called eBay Deals where they have some refurbished stuff on there, which I think is a fantastic deal. And I like eBay. Look, it's the same move. It's Etsy, it's eBay, it's everything all combined. Etsy up to 212 there, breaking out probably. Watch out for their earnings report as well. Etsy taking out 225, that could happen. Up 1% today. Pins, I mean, it's all the Pins is on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah. It's all the same kind of stuff, guys. It's stay-at-home plays. You're gonna see PayPal, if my Pins ever loads. You're gonna see PayPal in a couple seconds as well. I like PayPal better than eBay. Obviously, eBay and PayPal were together, then spun off. And yeah, see, here's Pinterest again, up 3%, right? So it's all of these plays. They're all breaking out, and the best one yet to come with PayPal.
All right, guys, we'll have a look at upgrades and downgrades. A few interesting ones on here once again this morning. Yep, there it is. PayPal on the upgrade side with Pfizer, FireEye on here as well. EA, Electronic Arts, talked about that a couple days ago. They reported downgraded today. Qualcomm on this side of the board as well, and CBS. Guys.
EA Sports is in the game. I mean, obviously, you're going to see sometimes late to the party and analyst updates. Are interesting to see Pfizer, which is not moving as usual, so probably not nothing to see there. Merck with a new CEO, however. Qualcomm, and we're going to talk about this one when it comes to the earnings, but it's sort of a disappointment here, and you're going to see it on the downgrade. So it's a bit of a double dip. It's doing a little bit of a decent job, I want to say, without getting too optimistic, holding above some of those post-market levels there, but certainly going to be in a little bit of trouble. I do think today, and it's hard not to have a negative look on it, but I was just talking about this too. You know what? This is going to be pie in my face for this one. This stock, you know what? You're going to go in the gates of hell so far, AACG. I just had to have an out in this. Look, of course you should always have an out, but like I'm like, yeah, 360. This is where I'm gonna have as my out. You guys saw it live when it broke, and then I'm like, oh, there's a heck of a lot more offer up there than I was anticipating above 360. Lots of sellers. Well, yeah, that drives it right back down. So I mean, there you go. I anticipated because of the low float in this stock when it started to get going that second short that we put in there, if it got past that 360 level, is going to be trouble, and I didn't want a lack of liquidity to be the downfall. That was the opposite when 360 broke, and you can see the result of that now. So this might actually be a more liquid stock than we're anticipating here, that AACG, the last one on the watch list. But man, that was a good one. Should have held on to it maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So Qualcomm. Look, what we're doing right now. Let's just go over this quickly here, if we can. That was upgrades and downgrades. We've already talked about eBay there. I think eBay just continues probably to go higher here. I'm looking at that 64 break. PayPal. We've talked about that. Qualcomm coming up right here. Qualcomm shares set to open lower. Brendan, do we want to go just through this one by one? You want to start talking about PayPal?
Yeah, let's go to PayPal here, guys. Another one. Big move to the upside. 115% surge in full year 2020. Moves to the upside for PayPal already. So we're building on a huge year, as Sean has been talking about, for PayPal. Better than expected report right across the board. EPS revenue beating. Even active users was right out of the window as far as PayPal is concerned, guys. What do we think about this one today?
Look, I mean, it's just the new banking system that's happening right now. It's a switch to electronic. Like even today, my kid wanted to buy something on Minecraft. You could just check out with PayPal. So honestly, I would use, I didn't buy it for him, but I would use PayPal over my credit card, right? I just feel like it's secure, it's easy. Not only that, I'm taking money out of Coinbase and putting it into my PayPal account. So I kind of feel like it's kind of like free money sometimes there in the crypto world. So look, I just think that what they're doing, and the reason I bring that example up is because of crypto, right? And I just think that it's been a big move for them. Every time I cash out, as I said, I think it's about a 1% fee, probably too expensive. But like I said, in the crypto world, people are willing to pay that. And not only that, but they have different apps. They have PayPal Me. There's Cash App. Obviously, we talked about that with Square as well. And it's just a move into a new type of banking. And I just think that there's even more products they can release. Savings and whatnot. Start paying percentages on money that people are holding in their PayPal accounts. I like it. It's a genius. I've been using PayPal just like probably you guys have probably for 15, 20 years now, honestly. And I think it's just getting going. You can see the breakout. I mean, it's not getting going. Like I said, like Brendan just mentioned there, we're long 108 from last year's call in January. But I mean, it already broke out. This was the level right here that we talked about. And like Brendan said again, that we've been talking about this for a while. It broke out of this 213, 215. Then it danced around it again, just confirming how great that level was, up to 220. And then now you're at 266 and change. I still think we take out this 269. Like, it's a rotation. Wait till some... This is still charged as a tech company, right? But I really think it's like Apple. It needs a kind of a different multiple. I don't want it to have a multiple of a bank because that's not good. That would be the opposite. But I think a combination, obviously the leader in fintech here, I think it just goes higher and higher and higher. And I mean, on the sticky note here, it's pretty busy today. I wrote it down and I actually did tweet it out as well. I saw like tons of people asking for it, so we tweeted that out. But I just said it has to hold that 265, right? And right here, 265, it's trying to hold it right now. It's actually holding 266. So let's see what it does at this 265 level. If it holds there, then watch out for a 270 break. I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, I think the last time I had a break very similar to this, you go back to like early December, and there was like a 220 that's, you know, that turned at like a 245, and I think that gives like PayPal to like a 275. I'd be interested to see, you know, the bank's response to this at some point. At some point, I don't know which name it's going to be. At some point, I think there's going to be a move made in terms of either partnership or like acquisitions. And in PayPal, the advantage that some of these fintech firms have is that, you know, they're operating in a space with probably a little bit less, for now, regulation than some of the traditional banks have to do, and you're absolutely killing them, and they're crushing it. And you said you pay a lot with PayPal. I do it without even consciously thinking about it. And the Coinbase one is trouble, I think, for some people that are trying not to spend as much as they are. I was actually looking, Sean, and I was willing to give it a little bit further back. It might be splitting hairs, but I just sort of looked a little deeper than that 265, if only because it's not always the biggest pre-market volume and there's a bit of a spread. I just feel like it can break that level without breaking, sort of thing. Like you could break 65 and then hold up at like a 64.5 or something like that, and then it would still be a go for me. So that's the only thing I would say. It's a bit of a spread and a stop area in a stock like this as opposed to a hard level for me.
All right, let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the overall market, see what levels we need to be aware of on the futures this morning. Arun, we're just trying to test higher here. I mean, a little bit more positive today going towards the open here.
It's a little bit more positive, but you know, we're still inside of a range. It's a tricky way to trade. The way I'm going to approach it is going to be slightly just sitting back a little bit, you know, because yesterday I gave that 38.15 level, and if we got underneath it, we had a chance to go. You know what we did? We just came right back. So that tells me the range is expanding. So when the range is expanding, I think I'm going to be a lot more careful with how I take my shots, because I don't know if we're just going to keep expanding ranges or if we're actually going to break out in some fashion. So until I get enough information to actually make a call like that, I'm just going to sit back. Right now, I'm looking at the 38.25 level. It's not actually a level. It's just a point of interest for me. If we get underneath and kind of just keep getting some overhead, maybe I want to take that shot, a sell side shot with the 38.65. That is still in play. That is still available, but that's the only closest level I've got to the upside. Now to the downside, I've got the 37.55, but that's way too far away to make anything or to use right now. So 38.25 is the only marker I'm looking at. And, you know, on days like this, when the market's going sideways, some days you kind of just, you do have to step back. As a trader, you're not, at least the way I approach it, I don't take a trade every single day. It's not my job. My job is to make sure that I execute the trades that will make money. So some days you don't get any reads that are proper. So I'll just sit back and kind of wait this one out until I get something that I can actually make money on.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Under 30 minutes to go here, guys, before we get to the open. Sean, do you want to talk about Microsoft here? A little headline coming across here about an employee experience platform they've just launched for Microsoft, so called Microsoft Viva. So a new employee experience platform called Microsoft Viva. So a little bit of a pop here for your softy early going.
Yeah, I can always talk about softy. I don't know anything about this employee experience as it was just listed there. I mean, I see the tweet, but or the release, but I don't really know too much about it. But yeah, Brendan, I mean, we talked about this. I think this is one of the best names to have in a portfolio. And we say, own Apple, don't trade it. And I think really the same can be said for Microsoft. I love trading it here. And again, we have this wick to the downside, so we'll look at a daily chart in a second. But, it's one of the strongest names out there that you can buy. I think they got their hands into everything. And now here, another example of their employee loyalty, I guess, with this program. And yeah, look, it's not moving the needle at all here. But look at Microsoft. We talked about it breaking out. And the thing about it was, last earnings season, we did have a lot, and even some now, the stocks didn't react great off of earnings. But then once it all settled down, people were like, wait a second, we got to get our money somewhere, and why not put it into these conglomerates? I mean, it's huge. I mean, these stocks are huge. Some of the billions and billions of dollars of revenue, of earnings these companies have, and it's just the power is so great that I think it's crazy to even think about shorting them. We'll watch the NASDAQ here today as it's up 0.46, and I think that will help us with some of these Microsoft trades. Yesterday's high of basically exactly 245-ish, like exactly-ish. That doesn't make any sense, but 245.15, I guess, was the high yesterday. There's a new thing, NFL and Skills.
Skills.
I don't even know what this stock is, Skills, but we'll see here. It's on the NYSE. It's, Skills Inc. Right now.
Gaming play.
Come on. Yeah, it's a gaming stock here, but I guess they have a deal with NYSE. You see this ripping to the high side right now. Oh, a recent IPO. Very good, guys. Very good. So $18. We love when IPOs make kind of bases and then break out. And then today, obviously, they get that great news now with NFL coming out. So
I think there's a decent, Brennan, if you can check the short interest on Skills, because I think there's a decent short interest in the stock. And this is, like, it just went $3, 10% here on 300,000 shares worth of volume. So you kind of know liquidity is going to be a problem. Like, that's like, even without checking, that's like a no-go short for me. Like, the second I see that kind of liquidity, and I'm pretty sure about there's at least a decent short position overall in terms of the float. So be very careful with Skills. I mean, if you're long, fantastic, but this is probably not one that I'm looking to fade a move like that on legitimate news. But thank you guys so much for the super chat, and we'll definitely be checking this one out today.
Yeah, so some details here, guys. We can jump into my screen here. I'll show you this headline. A mobile gaming developer. So they're going to team up to crowdsource a mobile NFL game. So they're allowing the licensing, I guess, to go across platform, and then they're going to crowdsource and outsource this development of a mobile NFL-themed game, which is pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, but I'll double check on that short interest for Skills moving already. Let's go to Qualcomm. First off, guys, the chip maker down this morning, down about 6.8% at this point. It was the revenue that was a problem. Not a huge miss, but it was a miss on the revenue, guys, for QCOM.
So, yeah, I will talk about, so Skills is less than 5% short. So, breaking out. We'll take a 35 long, so it's not going to be a short squeeze. But, look, it's an IPO recently breaking out. We like that one for sure. Look, so I tweeted out there, and again, thanks for the love on the chat there about all the sticky note and stuff like that. You guys like it, so we'll keep going with it. Eventually, we will probably stop, but we'll just keep going for now with that sticky note. 152 there, a great high. Look, I mean, the thing is they're down 11%, so it's going to be short sale restricted. So that means that when you're trying to go short on this name, you can't just hit the bid. You're going to have to wait for the offer. But with this kind of volume, it'll be 1 million shares by 9:30 most likely. Qualcomm's a great stock, but when you miss and Apple starts, like one of their major deals, obviously, in the space with Apple, and Apple crushed it. So people were expecting Qualcomm to do the same. And unfortunately, this is still on Skills, so we'll go back to Qualcomm. Unfortunately, the big run-up that basically happened, I mean, Qualcomm's not one of those, crazy riding stocks, but you broke out from here, and then you broke out on some of that earnings. You dipped down to the 50-period moving average, and this time it does not hold. So that, to me, is a glaring opportunity to go short. It did not hold that 50 period, which is 153. Now you're going to touch down to this 149. I wrote down a pretty big 149 position if it does get to that. We bounced around 149 yesterday. We broke 150 here. I'm thinking now we can change our offer to 150 if it does break, but we are starting to head back to the upside as the NASDAQ's still heading high. So, you know what, Qualcomm, I like the short on that bad report, but it looks like I'm probably going to be wrong here as it looks like it's going up. There we go. We get in right now to Skills. So right now I'm looking at a Qualcomm break, I guess, of 152, but I'd rather not take that. I'd rather look to build a short and then see what we do at 150. I was more excited about this 149 level break down there, but it looks like 150 should be just as good.
Yeah, I mean, 150 was the level I had in Qualcomm, and everyone's been talking about it. And we've mentioned it a few times on the show, at least, about the chip shortage and how there's some supply issues there, and it could be a drag on numbers, not just recent numbers in this particular earnings report for QCOM, but into the next quarter and probably into the rest of the year. It could be some disappointments, I think, across the space in that regard, but some of that's baked in. The 152, which it just, and like Sean, literally as Sean was speaking, you got a break off of this 151 into 52s here, and like 2 or 3 times it's stalled out, but the volume isn't exactly fantastic. I'm not taking the breakout into the long trade here, but I am eyeballing, and I love the fact that it's 152 to 162's previous close, so I'm looking at 157. If this thing goes nuts, kind of like when yesterday I was waiting for that 58 level on space and of course missing it, I'll be looking at 157. If it breaks the upside, I'd much rather let it travel in there and fade off 157 than bet that breakout happens. So there's 2 ways I'm going short this stock today. It's either the 150 break or this thing actually does try to fill in that gap, and then I'm fading halfway up to see if we can get a bigger short position on it that way.
All right, guys, Apple up 2% or a better part of 2% here this morning. Reuters out aftermarket yesterday reporting that the deal with Kia that has been rumored over the past couple of weeks getting very, very close. They even suggested February 17th as a date, a very hard date, in fact, as to which this deal could be announced. So Apple potentially very close to teaming up with Kia, guys, on their Apple car.
Yeah, and look, it's...
We knew about that, right? So
yeah, it's not like this isn't necessarily moving the needle here, and I think I was going to show you the 15-minute chart just to put that into a little bit of a better perspective, I think. And obviously, if you're buying Apple, it's probably for a heck of a lot of reasons. This is just another one. I was reading an interesting report. Well, not that interesting, but just a note that all they'd have to do was capture it was like 2% of the anticipated EV market share, and then they'd be doing as much in sales with the Apple car, or whatever it's going to end up being called, I guess, iCar, as they would when they're selling their phones. So like that's the upside here, and I think everyone can understand that you come with full automation, which they're planning to do, and it's not crazy to think that they'll get to a number like that with a company like Apple. So a lot of this might be baked in. Apple's going to move with the market, even though we're up 2% with relatively flat NASDAQ and ES, now that I'm looking at it, just both barely up. So yes, leading a little bit, but that's been the norm in the last little bit. I don't know that there's going to be a specific day trade, but you look at this 137, you look at this high the last couple of weeks, and it was kind of a support level when it topped out at 45, and there was support when it broke, and then for multi-days now 137 has been a level. So there actually is a bit of a chart look here through that 137 level on Apple. As long as the futures aren't tanking or something like that, I think it's going to be a solid play. I don't always love the breakouts in Apple. This one's kind of hard to ignore at that 137. It's not even necessarily based on the news. I'd probably be looking at this regardless of that story today, but there also happens to be that catalyst, I suppose.
All right, guys, new animation time. Let's see what happens. There it is. Little nice one. And we can also do this one too as we go up, and away, and skills already paying those bills, as you can see, good, breaking through 35. We're actually long 34.98 right here. We just took some out 35.50. Now we're waiting for 36. I got an offer at 36.96 right now, just seeing if we do take out this top. I guess it just got missed, so maybe we'll take it out right now. But a nice little win to start the day. Not really diamond hands, but we'll take that $1 right now on this name and run it to the high side. As you see, I'm having fun with these animations. Thank you so much, Robbie, for putting them on. There it is, bang! A nice little dollar win right here as we hit another new animation. We're still going to the high side, guys. Roll with me. Let's have some success today again. Let's go.
You mentioned NFL in a news story. It tends to be a little bit positive, especially when it comes to DraftKings as well. Also in positive territory this morning. Let's talk about DraftKings here, guys. We can look at Penn National if you want as well. Kind of getting a lift off of this move from DraftKings. The earnings for Penn National, not great, but back to the upside anyways. We mentioned NFL and DraftKings bringing their NFL gaming to Canada.
Skills just went to 39. We're long 35 right now. So yeah, look, DraftKings, again, another name that we've been looking at for a very, very long time. And Wow, Skills. I mean, we're already just crushing this name. This is still DraftKings, but Skills, 38.19 right now. We are long right here. Like, I just got out 36 and was pretty happy about that. Now you're at 35. You're going to 38, $39 right now there on Skills. Follow me on Twitter. I just tweeted that one out. But let's go back over to DraftKings, which will hopefully make a little bit of money on today as well. So yesterday, in the morning, I don't think Neil put on a trade yesterday, but I didn't. It was not a good one. It was breaking through. I think it was right about here, and then that was in the pre-market. I forget where it was. It was in all of this chop, and then it broke this level, going downside before coming. No, it was right here. I think we went long. Oh yeah, that's what it was. 59.20, and then when it broke through 59. It went all the way down here. We got out at 59 break before it just kept on going up the rest of the day. So right now, DraftKings, very similar situation. I'm going to wait for a pullback on this one, like 60, 61 for me would be a good call. I wrote down on the sticky note, 64 is just the all-time high. So I just want to keep that in mind in case it does go. But I'm going to throw it over to Neil and just continue to make money over here on Skills, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Skills, I saw 38.88, so get that 88 number in there, lucky number maybe. But that's going absolutely parabolic. Yeah, we can say it's already going parabolic. I'm going to talk about Penn because if we're going to talk about DraftKings, we might as well cover Penn National Gaming here. It's also on the list, guys. The earnings, I mean, as you said, Brendan, it's not, they weren't exactly like blow through the roof there. But at the same time, remember, this is Penn has exposure, of course, to the casino and the reopen trade. So you're going to see a little bit of that baked in to their numbers and to their performance that you see in the stock. I'm going to show you this 112 level, yesterday's high. Obviously you can see some topping out, trying to break 110, getting to 112 several days in a row. We are gapping and trying to hold it now, but there is a retracement that's coming in, and there was a little bit of selling on super light volume initially before a bit of a ramp after 7 o'clock on Penn. If it breaks one of these 112 levels, and there's been small iceberg orders at 112 and 112.50, I'm looking for like a scalp short type of idea right off the open, Penn 112. Like I said, don't think it was gigantic earnings. I think right at the open you could see some selling. You can use either the 12.50 or the 13 even as a quick little out there. But I'm looking for that one to the downside off the open. And the reason it has to be after the open is that volume. It's just not very high there on Penn, 260,000 shares. That'll improve once the stock opens up though, Brendan.
Okay, let's talk about NIO here. Up again this morning. Big move yesterday back to the upside for NIO. They announced a deal with a city in China for a new manufacturing facility that will house, in fact, their manufacturing housing unit or plant, along with an R&D plant, which a lot of people are talking about online this morning. That's where the autonomous side of NIO is going to come from.
Yeah, and it's been interesting because we've talked about NIO being one of the premier day trading stocks for last year at least, and certainly to the upside. There was all kinds of fantastic strategies you could have, whether it's swing trading it, buying on dips, or sometimes we're just buying this one off of the open on positive news. Lately, it's not been that type of a vehicle. And I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. I like this. I like it a heck of a lot better when you get one or two of these types of levels in consecutive days, right? So you get a couple of dips and heavy selling into NIO, around that same price, where you get like 54.50, and then you can sort of come in on the third day and say, okay, if it holds up there, there's a bit of a long type of an opportunity, or you wait for it to hold and then you catch like a breakout trade. When it's going to the upside, recently it just hasn't been nearly as good. This last real break that you actually see in this pre-market here at 9 o'clock, couldn't take you to 60 even. We're still waiting for that attempt again at 60, which just recently failed on a failed breakout, so I'll say. So there's probably some longs that are maybe short-term type of swing trades that are sitting in that like a 60 long where you're buying it on this day. You're holding on because 54, 55 hasn't broken yet, but at some point some of these do get taken off. And if we're not breaking through that 60 level, through the top, I'm always going to be waiting for the dip. First thing I'm looking for is like a 56 half, which was on the way up yesterday, a bit of a pullback. So if we can get there's been some clustering around that level. If I can catch 56, 50 to 56, let's call it 75, 80, something in that range on an opening dip. If it flushes, I'd like that. Of course, we're going to love it if it goes to that 54 level. I just don't see that really happening. And then 60 break, probably safer to allow it to go through 60, 50 because that's failed before.
I'm just going to get some shorts here. I don't even have any shorts yet for AMC and stuff. The sticky note tells me that Neo 5850 is a good look at skills, guys. Like, it's always nice to refill your coffee, come back and have a $4 winner on. NIO, well, it was $3 when I left. NIO 5850, it looks like that was a good little spot there. We tweeted that out again on the sticky note. You can follow that on Twitter. I see our Twitter thing is pinned to the top. Follow us there. 58.55 or so was that breaking spot. And I mean, look what we had. We tweeted this out and we wrote the sticky note down, 7:30, something like that. You see Neo right in the middle there, 58.50. And look what happens when that breaks. It breaks about 8.44. And yeah, it just rips to 59.50. So let's see if it holds those levels, guys.
All right, VGAC, guys, the Richard Branson-backed SPAC announcing this morning that they're going to take DNA testing site 23andMe public in a $3.5 billion deal. So I guess the notoriety or the recognition of the name, part of the reason this is higher this morning, but $3.5 billion, pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, for those that aren't familiar, I mean, it's definitely gained some popularity. I think most people have probably heard of 23andMe by now. This one, usually when you get that announcement that comes through, there's a bit of profit taking for those who've been already involved, and this is not necessarily going to be any different. There was already a bit of a spike into this range, and I noted this like 15:30 when the news broke here. Was able to quickly tweet this one out, and I did miss an opportunity to go long as I ran back to my desk and then missed the second half of the trade. I've been sitting here. There was a great break through 15 even that you could have had. And we're looking at these same prices. So the 1530 just showed you on the daily chart, and then that 15 on the initial pullback and breakout. And it's trying to hold this range. But I think some of the selling's already come into this to take the profit, but probably not all of it. There's a decent chance that if we break that 15, you want to be a little bit more patient with this. If it starts going parabolic, yeah, why not? We're looking at a 1587 high. Call that 16 because I'm never punching long on a 1588 break. So I'm still looking at that 16 level. If we've cratered through 14, you sort of throw those out the window. But I'd love for us to hold this 15 to 1530 first. And that way you can actually take a scalp trade through 1530 at the open instead of having to wait all the way to 16 even, which will still be a good breakout.
So Trader Prod asked me the other day, what should I invest in if I wanted to try to make some money? I said VGAC. We'll ask him after the show if he did that. But it's a SPAC and it's running, so just watch those levels.
Let's go to Kodak. Big move in the afternoon yesterday. The CEO confirming the deal that we talked about a month or so ago in regards to Microsoft. So they're creating a platform with Microsoft for printing for corporations to get like a one-stop shop, I guess, when it comes to all of their printing needs. They can order equipment, they can order paper, they can send jobs out to be done elsewhere, guys. So Eastman Kodak, I mean, not really doing a heck of a lot here this morning, but worth a watch because it can get going if it wants to.
Yeah, you always watch out for the stock when it's in a tight consolidation on the day two. And it's typically just always been worth a breakout type play through the high. Now, it was a great short. We talked about this with Luis before, and I think you can look at the chart here and say to yourself, okay, well, if it gets below like a 1030, and maybe you're still holding on to a long here, it gets below like a 1030, you do have, well, for a few days in a row, with support at 930. So that's not a horrible range to be playing in if it gets back down. My first look is going to be if it just breaks through the high for a scalp, and it's just nothing else. And after that, I'm only ever shorting the big parabolic pops or waiting for it to come back in and then playing the afternoon trade where it looks like it's a retracement all day long. And of course, so actually, you know what? Yeah, it's interesting because we talk about these wicks there, Sean, and for a second, I looked at level 2 there. I see this wick that it broke through. I'm like, it didn't just break 1080. No, it did not. That was just one dark pool print that came through. So make sure I use stop orders that aren't going to be triggered by those ones. But I am looking for that pre-market high break for real at 1080 on Kodak. It's still trading at 1058, guys.
Yeah, we tweeted that headline out yesterday at about 2 o'clock there, and here it is, partnering with Microsoft. Oh, we just talked about Microsoft today as well. So more hands that Microsoft is involved with there are more. They have their hands in more things with Kodak, especially right now. Print this one. Okay, so there's the news there yesterday there, and we tweeted that out. So now you can see that's PayPal still. I'm looking at PayPal still taking this 269. It actually held that 265 pretty good. It only got down as low as 266. So I think we'll probably put some orders downside. That's what I'm doing. Like right now, guys, with only 7 minutes to go, like I got to get prepared for this day. But I wrote down Kodak today. It's actually not on my list, so it won't be probably one that I trade too much. You got to get shorts. The funny thing is, it's come all the way back, and Neil just talked about some key levels there. So just watch out to see if it holds 1050.
Okay, guys, let's have a look at some of these crazy stocks we've been dealing with all week long. I mean, take your pick here. Looks like, again, this morning, as we said with Lewis, that Naked brand seems to be doing the most volume, GME and AMC. Not terribly exciting, but SNDL as well, also at the top end of the volume list so far.
Those are almost, they're really sleeping, but just because we got a super chat here, and I'm going to mispronounce your name if I try, but just about Dropbox there, thank you for the super chat. They do have an acquisition today, so I would watch out for that. It was a DocuSign competitor. I forget the exact name of the company. I'll have to check that out. So I would watch out trading. There is actionable news on that, so just check out the deal. I don't know if it's anything confirmed yet with that acquisition, but I am going to be watching to see what happens there. I remember reading on the way in, but I don't want you guys to trade blind on that particular name. I just feel like with GameStop, and look, I'll have it up, and I'm still monitoring this stock along with AMC. Unless you're breaking through the lows, right? So when we're talking about this 85 that was holding yesterday, unless you're actually getting some real flush down, causing some more people to get out of the stock or maybe a panic, there might be a bit of a dead trade there. There's usually some good breakouts that might occur every now and then, maybe if we break out through 100 for a scalp trade. But I'm mostly just going to be monitoring it in case it breaks through that low. And if that happens, you could see a rush to the exit on some of these other names. And if I'm going to be trading in Naked brands, I'm going to have to watch out for what happens in GameStop. Speaking of Naked brands, I will be trading this one today. I already had a bit of a short off the top there that I scalped out. And I'm looking at this 130 level. It was a high in the afternoon, and then a big time iceberg order that was holding it all morning. That's broken, so I can throw out the long trade. I did have a quick one at 130 when it broke. I just got out of it. So I'm watching that nice little pivot area. If it ever gets to 150, guys, hard top at 150, both as pre-market and yesterday in the afternoon after that breakout.
Okay, so new position alert here. We just took. First of all, we just took PayPal there. So we got it at 265.20. We talked about trying to take that on the downside. So already in the money, 50 cents on PayPal and $3 on Skills. So right now, we'll see if we get some out. I'm sitting here at, you know what, I should have just put some dark pool prints there or even NASDAQ, which is Qs. I'm sitting here at 26 even to see if I get some out there on that break, but maybe we'll go just a little bit lower to do that. Look at the imbalance locator today. We talked about QS yesterday. That was probably going to be a good buy for anybody that hit that yesterday in the 40s. Now it's all the way back up. Palantir is going to be a big one. We'll talk about that. We haven't got too much time to do all this today. And then I do like Ford breaking through 1150. Thank you so much for all of the super chats. Keyshawn, thank you so much. You've helped me so much. We've helped you. You've helped us. Thank you for making the show the #1 show on YouTube. And then Eunice, $20 as well. Thank you so much for all of those super chats. And here's another one. Dogecoin, yeah, we've talked about that. We love that. If you are in that coin, then keep those super chats coming as Dogecoin looking real good, guys.
Nokia, big sell there, top of the list on earnings as well, guys, on that list. Let's talk about Cassava Sciences. 1, 2, 3, now 4 days to the upside. This thing was $10 going back to last week. We are at 100 right now for Cassava Sciences. So I just marked off 105 here was a bit of support on the way down in the pre-market. Needs to stay below 105. If it does, watch 90, and then you get a red candle. This thing has come a long way in a hurry, guys.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked, and we've talked about that Cassava Sciences and just how crazy that run from 22 had been. And I was a little bit shocked at how deep the pullback in the pre-market had already happened to be. If today is a sell day, then I'll probably mean this 105, this rollover bounce, whatever you want to call it, does not hold up. But for now, I still have to believe at least a little bit in the momentum there. So that 105, if a first look, is probably going to be a bit of a break. It's close enough to the open that I could get that pen trade. It is it's holding above 112, but I'm looking for it to break down and then pull a bit of a retracement play on Penn National Gaming there. So we're going to be watching that one very, very closely because it could still print me in the pre-market. As far as Qualcomm goes, it's still in the middle of this range. So that 152 to the top side still in play. That puts that 150 break well in hand here in terms of an open break. So with 2 minutes to go, could still see that 150 break come into play on Qualcomm. So that little mini run that it made, I mean, that was it. Like, it had just spiked up, and then there's nothing past that. It looks like the weakness did come right back in to Qualcomm there, Sean.
Oh, good. Qualcomm's going to be a big one for us here, hopefully at some point today. So we're going to watch Qualcomm. I was looking at it 150 break. Why isn't it loading there? Oh, there it is. Okay, Qualcomm, sorry.
It could
it's
happen
going to
right
be
now.
breaking 150 right now. We have a 150. Do I even have that order out? Yeah, small. So we'll take it small here in the pre-market. Look, when it was breaking 152 up there, I was saying I don't like the long. I don't like the long. I don't like the long. And instead, I just should have shorted some small there, but we didn't. So now we have to wait for 150 to break and then 149 to break as well before we get real serious with this. Okay, we're huge right now. Another bid just picked us up. I'm going to try to get out of this, guys, if I can. We're long at 264.70 right now. The spread is huge on PayPal. So
Yeah, dollar.
Dollar right now. So we have a decent amount of shares for a dollar spread. So making me a little bit nervous. But 264.75 we are long at right now. So a nice little win on that one. And then Skills still $4 in the money, $3 in the money on SKLZ there. SKLZ.
Yeah, good on you actually saying SKLZ. I mean, I'm just going to call it Mad Skills, whatever you want to call it. Naked Brands here, bouncing off this 130. Going to look for a 134 a break as well. Sorry, check that, a 135 break to the upside. If it does happen off the open, 130 is going to be that pivot point, I think, all morning. Qualcomm stalls out, so 150 has just held, and Penn just bounced off of 112. So those levels look... Well, Penn just bounced $3 off of 112. I still like the breakdown if he gets in there, but it looks like it'll be Qualcomm likely. And Penn maybe not getting that 112 breakdown. That's why I like the breakdown. I want to see it go down first before we get into position on that one. So here it comes. It's Thursday. This market is about to get open. Rob is on the bell, taking over for Larry, at least for today. 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Also going to be watching, you mentioned this, I'm going to be watching for Neil on any kind of a dip down. I do see, there's 150, but there's the break on Qualcomm.
Come on, PayPal.
What's the fill?
Yeah, let's go PayPal. Here we go, guys. Yeah, we're huge on PayPal right now, and we're huge on Qualcomm as well, guys. On this break, let's just get some out if we can here on Qualcomm as we are rocking and rolling to the downside there. We didn't get any out. We're short 149 there on Qualcomm, guys.
Yeah, you know what's weird? I ended up getting 149. My 50 actually rejected. I'll have to check that in a second, but either way, it does head to the downside now, so I am into it. Neo, no dip, but it's starting to come down here into the first level, 58.50. If it takes this one out, guys, I still like that 57.50 for another downside play. Penn, no movement just yet. It looks like it's heading a little bit northbound. 115. Wow, it's still up there.
Guys, look at PayPal, 269. Look where we're long, 264. It's at 270 and ripping people's faces off right now. Let's go, PayPal. A big trade here on PayPal, guys. $5 winner for PayPal. Yahoo, get on that bull and keep riding it, Neil. Bang, 270, 271, 275. We are just crushing PayPal here today. Great trade on this side. Let's just hope that our friend Qualcomm can come to the downside right now.
Yeah, it just broke back through that 149, guys. So I'm looking at like 148 to take a little bit of profit. The way it's been bouncing around, you got to take it. Naked Brands just got back below that 130, guys. So it's been a bit of a pivot point. I'm just going to jump into the short. I actually got midpoints here. So we'll get 29.5. As it starts to fall, I said it'd be a pivot. That means below it, I'm going to short. Got to watch out for 120. The pre-market lows here. About 29.5, I just got to the short side. And Qualcomm, Sean, 49
Come on,
is just
Qualcomm.
holding over and over again here. But it looks like it's trying to go. I mean, this is what we're talking about. I want 148 for the first top. 147 was the aftermarket bottom on Qualcomm, guys.
Guys, like, honestly, we are just monsters today. We're 5 times daily goal already. 5 times daily goal here already off PayPal. And here we go. I mean, we're losing a little bit now on Qualcomm, but here we go to the downside. Bang! What a monster trade. What a monster morning. Neil, I could be done now, but because of everybody, I'm not. We'll stay here and we'll just continue to trade this. We still are short 150. Qualcomm, PayPal, everything. What a monster day. You're welcome, guys. Let's go. Wow.
So I have to give Greg an order number here, guys.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Take as many breaks as you need. Here we go, guys. PayPal, big time trade happening right now. PayPal, 269.15. Monster trade. You want Skills to pay some bills? Bang! Skills as well running to the high side here. Yeah, we got energy and we got winners. Let's bring the pain.
Penn just came back. Whoa, that was rather quick, guys. Penn all the way back into that 115. So it's a bit of a failed breakout through 115 through the high. Just to give you the higher time frame, why not, guys? This is what I'm talking about. If we get through this 112, again, I might have to add to this position. I like that conviction a little bit better, guys. Penn, it's just one of those situations where if it fails to hold 112 even, a lot of people are holding the bag on that breakout play, which is a short that I like to play. Brendan?
And Clover here, Clover Health, guys. We mentioned the Hindenburg report in the pre-market there. Initial buying coming in here, so $12 held at the bottom. Big volume spike to the upside for Clover, guys.
Ooh, Clover Health. Okay, well, we will definitely have a look at that one. We're also going to watch AMC here a little bit, as I know the meme stocks. Everybody's loving the meme stocks. So we'll watch AMC 850, 852. Come on, chart, let's load. What do I have for AMC written down here? I can't even find my sheet anymore. I'm so jacked up about that trade there on PayPal and on Qualcomm, guys. Like, we made good money there. Unfortunately, Qualcomm coming back, but we did like 49.50 short, 49 short, out. Now Qualcomm rips to the top side. Let's get out the rest of this if it does break above 152, but Qualcomm, wow, beast central over here, guys.
152 was certainly a good resistance point. I just noted that Kodak, and I'm going to take out this breakout trade for a split second here because Kodak to the downside, I'm going to use that same top as a fade. Look, I thought we'd actually be going northbound first. Looks like we're headed southbound. 152 is definitely going to be the level. Sava apparently moving to the upside here. And look, I actually canceled my stop orders when I had one miss. But 105 looks like a bit of a failed breakout there, guys. You're going to have to watch out for this. We thought that'd be a good level. It cratered first to 90. If you got 90s, you're probably holding on for dear life, and I think you should. But watch out. If the 150, 105 break happened and it just came right back in, you got to be very, very careful with this because lots of volatility. I'll look for it to retake the high momentum and take a 110 break just in case.
Okay, so we're going to dump some Qualcomm off here because it just came right back to life for us. So we'll get a little bit out there as it's coming back down. Oh, and I talked about AMC. I did want to look at that as well, obviously. As AMC right now coming to the downside, I like an 8 break on that. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be happening pretty soon here. $8 break on AMC with momentum coming hard to the downside, especially with GameStop as well. $84 right now and coming to the downside. So down 10% on Game, and I think a little bit more there on, well, no, that's Qualcomm, sorry. I don't know why that went back to there, but let's check out AMC. Is that down 10% as well? AMC, not AMN. Okay, here comes, yeah, they're both down 10%, so watch out, guys. We're coming to the downside right now. $8 is a smash.
Yeah, just like I said, a warning to anyone that had that 115 long break. And look, top-end breaks can happen. There was somewhat decent news. I mean, it wasn't the greatest earnings in the world by Penn, but it was trading to the upside. It is coming back now. I actually got this a couple of times here when I said I liked it even more the way that it came in. I was able to short some at 113 when it's not a dip buy, of course, it's a bounce sell. I got some out in front of pre-market low. I'm looking to about 107.5, 108 as a next target for this name. I just loaded back into some Qualcomm as well, so that short trying to come. No, I didn't get it. I just tried to get some on a 150 break, but still have just those 149s, guys. But Penn National Gaming is headed to the low side. Gonna get some bids just in case it goes absolutely flush side on me. I want to make sure I have some profit taking on the way down to that 107.5. Just to come back to Naked Brands, I said I would be trading it. It's only moved like 3 or 4 cents here. I was able to get the short. You're going to see I have 129 half short. I actually still have an offer to get the rest of my shares there. Got a couple legs, 28, and then of course this pre-market level here at 125. Had to take some out for some profit there as well.
Okay, guys. Yeah, AMC bouncing. I mean, that PayPal out. I mean, that was what a run that was, guys. 265, 264, taken right here, both in the pre-market, then a 269 break. That's a $6, $7 winner right there, and we're just through the moon on our trading today. So big time there. Good trades. Watch out. Here comes AMC. So we're going to switch over to that. Why do I keep typing AMN on here? AMC. AMV.
Yes, Sean, GameStop popped through that 80.
Oh, did it
not
pop?
No, sorry, not popped. It dropped through that 85 level, guys. So you're going to see it fall down. Now, liquidity, of course, not always the easiest to get a fill down there. It already made a big move. It went parabolic downside through 85. If it comes back up, I think 85 is sort of that key level being the previous low. Might be able to catch it on a bit of a fade there, but that's probably the reason why AMC just moved, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're all together, right? I mean, I think AMC is probably a better trade than GameStop anyways, but yeah, you got to watch out. Look, I valued, and I was talking to a friend last night through WhatsApp, and I said, honestly, GameStop's value is probably around $20 to $25, I would say, per share, based on, new Ryan Cohen joining the board and some new switching of their plans and restructuring a little bit. So I think even if you have GameStop right now at $80, you know, your downside to me, it's still huge, but down to $20, $25 is probably where it is. And it's just a matter of, do you think the short squeeze is still on? I do not personally, but if you do, then this is not a bad opportunity because you're going to lose about half, about 2/3 of the value if it does go back down to realistic valuations. But again, you could get a double if we're wrong. What's up, Brendan?
VGAC, guys, big break to the downside there. It was trying to hold 15, but bid got taken out. So huge volume spike, breaking downside for that Richard Branson SPAC, guys.
Yep.
Yes, sir. And to just go back to this Lizzie, also Louis was talking about this name as well. $11 here. It just tried to break to the upside and is having a little bit of trouble. This was a flush in the pre-market. If we get back below, I'm going to be looking for a Lizzie short. Kodak broke through. Well, you know what? Actually, it didn't really definitively break. And I'm going to take this long off. It didn't really have a definitive break through that 185. It just sort of snapped back on us. And now 11, forget about this. It never actually got to 11. So I'm going to walk away from Kodak. I thought first move would be up. First move does end up coming down. So file that one in the loss column, paying back some of what we made yesterday. Just to come back to Penn National Gaming, it's back to that 12 level. It did come up here because I didn't get a second target out. I didn't reload into more shares around that 13 where I got in last time. So still sort of holding the line with Penn National Gaming. Naked's coming back up to that 130 level. No reload here. I just got the fill that I was getting before with a partial fill. Now I just got the rest of it, that's all.
Guys, Neo, big time trading on Neo as well. Long 58.80, out 59.10. Give it to us, Bren.
H, guys, we talked about this one yesterday. About halfway through the morning, this one popped up on a new deal with the U.S. Navy. So extending those gains from yesterday. 21 just taken out there for CPSH.
Okay, CPSH, we're liking that one. Look at Neo. We waited for that 58.50 to break. We were not good enough to get it at that level. We were looking at too many other things, but we did take that 58.80 using 58.50 as our stop. And then look at those outs right there on NIO. Bang, bang, bang. We still got 70%. We're trying, guys, to hold, but as you know, that's very hard for me to do. So we'll get out a little bit more. Now we're going to average into this. If it falls back down, man, 58.50, we'll drop it, but we're going to average in a little bit. There we go. We took a little more Neo there on that dip. Good little trade on the dip, 58.76. But right now, you know, market going up, Neo coming down. Do not. Here we go. I'm getting out, guys. Like I just said, I'm not going to be married to a Neo trade, not at this level.
Yeah, so Neo actually almost picked me up. I had a bid in front of 57.50. It stalled at 57.80. Whenever I see that happen, I go ahead and cancel the order and look for the next level to the downside. Speaking of downside, just going to come over, or not over, back to that Qualcomm. It did have a little bit of a leveling off. I told you that I missed it once. I was able to get some more shares at the 150. That was the original price I like. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just take off the chase short that we got at 49 for a small win and hang on to the actual price that we wanted here, which was on the 150 break. I still believe we can get at least down to the aftermarket low at 147, and then if that breaks, hold the rest of the position. Brendan?
AVXL, guys, another one, little one that was up huge in the pre-market, got all the way up to 22 again, which was near this high from the pre-market. Just halted downside. So AVXL, 2 days in a row higher, halted downside, guys.
Okay, guys, and we're not going to hit diamond hands again, but we'll hit bears. We still are short here, Qualcomm. Like, talk about, we were monster trade here on Qualcomm today, and we still are running that short. So now $1.33 in the money. Our skills didn't pay too many bills. We got out there for $1 on 2/3 of our trade. We held that last third, went to 39.50, and we didn't take it. So that was in the pre-market. You know, who knows how high that was going to go. Looks like it'll fade back in. We're going to get out if this breaks below. So I'm long at 35. So probably these little bottom levels there. 34.50 is a good out for me there on skills. And then I'm thinking about taking another half off of Qualcomm right now as it's just bouncing off the same kind of lows that we already took it out here, 148.50, guys.
Yeah, watch out. This AACG is going parabolic. And now I like these if they start halting on us here. Now, that hasn't really done that yet. There was a 420 break at the top, that 4 even. That's why we got out of that short really early in the pre-market. But it just tested through 5. If it fails at an even dollar range, that's another way to maybe get into a short position, but that's really not much of a failure. You're talking about 5-10 cents, it just went downside. This one is likely to start halting if you get another push upside here. I'm actually not sure why it didn't halt on that last move up. That seemed like it was 10% in fast enough time. But there's another fail at 5. I'm going to see if I can't get into a short here.
Okay, we did miss space. My order went out, but it missed it. We tried to get that 58.50 break or 58.25 break, and we missed it. It was right here, man. Yeah, there it is, right there. My order went out to 35. So I only crossed up 10 cents. You can see the spread. That's not going to be good enough when the stock is moving. So you put that And you remember that for tomorrow or just for today. If you're gonna try to trade space, you gotta cross up probably at least 30 cents or so, like right there. Yeah, I mean, when it moves, yeah, there it is. Another 20-cent spread up there. This is level 1. So when you hear people talk about level 1, that's gonna be up here. It's the national best bidder offer, NBBO. B for Brendan.
Square, guys, going as well. Maybe a little sympathy play off of PayPal here. Just broke through day highs there on a huge volume spike. So Square up 3.5%.
All right.
So I did get into that secondary failed break at 5 even on AACG. I'm going to butcher that name every single time for you guys, unfortunately. 470 was a bit of a reverse point here where it tried to break through several times, pulled back, now coming through. So got to take some profit in front of that level. There could be some chop between 50 and 70. I think a lot of it would have to be through there. I'm not giving this to the high of the day. I think that might be a bit of a sucker's bet to give it to 520. So I'll probably give it around that 510 area. So a bit of a lower high I'm looking for before I get out of this. And if it breaks higher, I'm probably going to have to join the party and take a top-end break if it's going to take out this level and hold above 5E in a bid, which it has not just yet.
So I want to talk about Palantir. I cracked through 32 there, but I realized that I didn't have shortable shares. So Greg's going to see about getting that for me here if we can trade a little bit short now on Palantir. It's breaking down, to be honest with you. It's still up that 1.5%. So, we're not scared of anything here with PLTR, but we have to watch it. So it's going to be coming back to the downside. I don't mind this break. It was from yesterday. We had some 32 tops right there. That's why we like the short. But right now, I guess it's a good thing that I don't have this trade on right now because I would be short 32. We'll get those shorts hopefully for us soon, and then we're going to watch Palantir to the downside. I do not like Palantir long here, guys.
Just got in and out. So I talked about not giving it to high a day in AACG. Maybe I should have. If I was, yeah, there's the win. It just goes through that 470 right now. There's another level, that 135 on Naked Brands is starting to come into play once again. If it breaks, I already told you guys I'm going to go long on a break, but that's more of a manual trade, no stop order, because I'm not giving up the extra cent there to hit 36. I want to see if I can hit a 35 break on Naked Brand specifically. If it turns around and bounces off 130, I'll probably take a quick scalp long, but I still like that 135 break on Naked Brands. Qualcomm back in the money, keeps bouncing up to 150 and then coming back down. At some point, it's got to give up the ghost and give a bigger flush than it already has.
Yeah, exactly. At some point. Look, we already got out of our Qualcomm there on the downside. We still have one piece, but it's 5% of our initial trade. We already got that out at 148.60 there, and now it's coming to the downside, so you got to hold some. I just wish I would have held it all, but we can't hold everything all the time, can we? Talking about holding something all the time, we are super bullish on PayPal. You guys know that. We've been loving PayPal for a long time. Made a hell of a lot of money on this, not only trading, but obviously today trading as well. The #1 stock on the board here for Neil or I, PayPal today. And look at these buys, 264, 265. Then we had a 269 break. And unfortunately, man, I dumped them all off. It broke VWAP there. We got out, and I didn't hold long enough. I said I would do this, like literally mistaked, because this is a couple days in a row now that we've had absolutely monster winners, and we dumped them a little bit too early. This would be a $10 winner here, Brendan.
A little EV name from yesterday, guys. That canoe going again. Go EV is the symbol. Back to 18 here, coming up on volume, 10% for Go EV.
And one more fail at 110 on Sava. I like second breaks. They tend to look pretty good here, so it did pull back and heavily down back to that 90 even area. But we've seen how far Sava Sciences can run, so I do like a 110 break here. Naked Brands just turned away from that 135. So of course I'm not going to go long break if it's back down at 130, but there is that pivot point at 130. I'm going to see if I can't go long in front of it. There's the break, and there's my order. I guess I didn't cross far enough. Maybe I get picked up on the way back in Cassava Sciences, but you just saw it, like 110, and then instantly it's at 120. So that's my lot in life these days. If I can catch a quick snapback trade into the long and see if I can scalp it, we'll go ahead and do that. But there's 110. 26, I was able to get some shares there. So it's a second break. It did just come back down on me, so I'll probably take some off a little bit shallow here. Just got $1. Now let's see if we can hang on to like 150. I would call it. There was a bit of a chop zone in Cassava Sciences pre-market, so let's have a look at that level there at about 115 or just shy of it.
Okay, so today some of the weed names not really coming off, but we can check out SNDL. That's what going upside, and it continues to do that. I mean, we were trading this thing back down in the 80-cent mark, and now SNDL going off right now. 103 million shares.
What?
105 million shares right now for SNDL, looking to take out this 132 top. 132 has been pretty sweet for the last little while. Let's go long if we do take out was 132. You can see yesterday it was kind of the high here, 133, 134. So yeah, maybe it's a 134 top to be more exact there from yesterday. But SNDL right now making dreams come true, guys.
Wow, I mean, I actually thought the volume would be better. Naked Brands was doing better, was doing fantastic volume, but this was the level I was watching all day yesterday on Sundial, so I'm going to be absolutely going long through that 135 if it goes there. And I sort of switched to going some long trades on Sundial as opposed to only short guys. So watch out for that break. I actually like this more than I like Naked Brands now that I see the relative volume is so high. Going to go back over to Sava. I like the chance at a dip. You're not talking back to like 92, but when you make a higher low bottom off the pre-market low, I'm going to be buying back into this one around VWAP. So if it gets down there, watch out for that. Qualcomm is still trying to go. I took some of it out, about half. Now got that reload, that 149 half. At some point, it's got to give up the ghost. If it holds below 150, you got to feel like it's testing that 147 at the bottom, guys.
Yeah, we still have that Qualcomm. We still have the skills as well. We're waiting to see if that can do something. We did hold that through that little level there. And then NEO, the only negative stock we have today was NEO, and we did take some out there for a profit. But, you know, like Neil says this all the time, sometimes, you know, the trade that you get out of is your best move, because if I would have held that, look how far down this name would have gone. We did write down here on the sticky note to 57. Oops, there it is. Where's NEO? It's right there in the very middle. NEO 58.50 dipped to 57. It looks like it's dipping right now, so maybe we got to pick some up. What's up, Pete?
A little one, guys, that was once a big high flyer when it comes to the pandemic and COVID-19. AIM Immunotech here, up 10% this morning on big-time volume. Just checking on news, but don't see anything at first glance. But coming into significant levels once again for AIM.
Yeah, and I don't know. We're going to hit some new ones for you guys. I actually don't know what this is going to happen here, but no, nothing. There it is. That was a little bit delayed, but Cassava Sciences, look, you guys know what this stock has done. I anticipated there would be a bit of a dip, maybe to give you 105. It hasn't happened. I said I'd get some out in front of 115. 114 had a tiny, it's not really a big level, but it was enough size in there that I said, okay, I'll just take the $3 there. Went ahead and did that. I think there's a decent chance it can go to 120. I'd be a little bit shocked if after the sell-off in the pre-market that there wasn't big resistance at 125, a lower high from this pre-market level. Like it gapped up and then just sold $30. So, I mean, you know, you can't have that pie in the sky dream that it's going to give you everything that you want all the way and break the high of the day. I've seen Sava do it. I'm just not betting that's happening. I think the last of these shares, 125 is a reasonable target, but I'm not even chasing it that far. 120 make you perfectly happy on this 110 break.
Yep, Sava, good trade there. Nice one, nicely done. Okay, so right now I'm trying, you see how choppy NEO is right here? It's not giving us that same look where we took $3 or $4 yesterday, or $2 maybe on NEO yesterday's break. It's not giving me the same feels as it did yesterday. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that move down, but we do have this 58.60 level coming. So if that comes through, we will wait for some NEO. I'm going to check back in on PayPal and then literally, oh man, I was going to say punch myself in the face. That would make for good television, but 274, missed that one. We had that run to the high side. Now I'm looking maybe to get loaded back up here at 270 if and when we dip back there for PayPal. So 270, a good little look there. And then NEO, I still like it. My only negative stock today, and it's minuscule compared to everything else, is this 58.60 kind of VWAP, kind of this top right there. Let's see if we get back to 58.60 on NEO. What's up, Pete?
Another one that's been on a bit of a tear, if you go to the daily time frame here of late, FinVolution, FINV in New York. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now days straight to the upside for this one. Just bouncing off 420 here. Volume, the story though, not a huge move, but up 3% for FINV. Yeah,
seeing, and apologies for these dark pool wicks. I mean, there's so many of them on Qualcomm today. We did get that reload. It's now testing that low of the day again. It behooves me to take a few more shares off in front of 148. I still believe in that 147 trade, but because I got that reload, if I didn't get the reload, I'd probably be hanging on, but I did get it. So let's go ahead, take that profit. We'll have to hit the, this one I know what's going to happen here, even though it's a little bit delayed. There we go. We'll go fist bump action because I know this is a short that we both believed in here. If it breaks a low, hang on to the last of these Qualcomm shares, but 148, I can't look a gift horse in the mouth too far on that particular name. Yeah, shoot for the moon to the upside on something like Cassava Sciences, which is showing you those types of moves. Qualcomm not always going to give you, the biggest play. That might not go $10 on you there unless you literally had it anticipating the bad earnings there. So 115 is coming on Sava. If it breaks this level, I hope we can get up to that 119, 120 area where I'm sitting to take the rest of these shares out. If it enters that price and snaps back down, I might take it out break even and then look for a dip at a 105, guys, because I still like that level. Ever since you mentioned it, Sean, I've had this, I threw Sundial up thinking, oh my goodness, yeah, that 135. All day long I was looking for something like that and it never did it. And now it's going to sleep. Ever since I pulled it up, like it's just not even moving anymore. So a bit of a disappointment watching that sundial. I really thought it was going to go there.
Yeah, Sundial's a funny one there. I always think Sundial's going to go, right? So not just being a bull, but it is a little bit shorted. Obviously, the shorted stock there. Look, we're going to try to go some DAPs right now on Ford. We are long right now 36, so it's only in the money a cent. But depending on the shares you have, that's not horrible. So let's see if Ford can continue to go up. I like this play. We're heavy in it right now. Ford to the upside. Let's go. What's up, Beep?
Digital Turbine, guys. Another one with earnings aftermarket yesterday, better than expected. Online marketing company. This one's been very strong this at the end of last year and then into January here. You can see big pop aftermarket yesterday on positive earnings, just taking out that pre-market high there for apps.
And they're going to come back to that AACG, if only because it's starting to fade back in here. Now, it was a failed break. I probably should have hung on to that. You have to have an out, but it's bouncing off VWAP every single time. So I'm going to need it to break down below that $4 before I think about shorting it, unless we get another parabolic move. Here comes a chance to get a bit of a dip in Sava. I talked about 105, 106. It's at 108 now. If it goes any further, I'm going to look to load back into it.
Okay, we're just getting out here a little by little on Ford, as Oasis says, little by little. What's up, Brennan, again?
Fisker, guys, just popping up here. Not seeing initial headlines. I'll keep looking, but big pop there for Fisker. Not a huge move up to 1540, but volume coming in. Heads up on Fisker.
Yeah, hopefully it's coming up to the upside. We're long Fisker in our own account. And look, I'm just trading this 15. Okay, I think this is roughly where we're long. I don't know. We'll have to find out after, but a nice little move there. Look, all these SPACs, obviously not a SPAC, but these stocks going a little bit crazy right now. I'm just going to try to trade in and out of this Ford. A nice position at 36. Just got some out 39s, now bouncing around 38, guys.
Yeah, very, very happy with the last out there on Qualcomm. It bounces again, and this is 148 on a dime now. It's not trading down here every single time. There are some dark prints that are going off there, but it is testing this level 1, 2, now 3 times. That's why you got to take some profit. It is holding the line below this 150 mark, at least for the time being. So I still like that as a level that we can take out. If it breaks 150, my last entry here at 69. 49.69, good number. If it breaks that, I'll just get out for probably like a 30 to 40 cent loss. I'm willing to lose on the last of these shares, but if it goes to 152, remember, we like that level as well, and it couldn't break that in the pre-market, so I might load back in if it gets to that 152. Here comes Sava down to that 105. Looks like we'll be able to get that fill if it travels just a little bit further. Not too far from my bid right now.
AMC, the bottom is 807 or so. Okay, we can go back over to AMC. I'm still watching Ford, guys. Like, what a great trade that was, man. We're just running the money today through, and it's been such a fantastic day. So hopefully you're having just as much success as we are. Okay, AMC there. Let's go over to see what's happening. Okay, big size there at 25. Not big enough to really do anything, but there is some size there, so watch out for that. Looking like it wants to go down 805. My short offer is not until we break 7. There goes that size on AMC. Mr. Wickens.
Yeah, Neil mentioned this one, Canada Goose. Best day, guys, since June of 2018 on an earnings beat. So nice look in the pre-market here on earnings up to 44 in the U.S. Dual listed, obviously, in Toronto as well.
Yeah, and there was a top right there on AACG. It just took out the high. I got 26s long. I'm going to get to that in just a quick second, but I did get that reload in Sava as well off of VWAP. I'm going to look to scalp some out in front of like a $1.10 if I can get it. That'd be like a $2 win, but AACG just very, very quickly, this one, it was a parabolic move into it. I actually didn't see it coming, and then I just got the fill thinking it was a leveling off and maybe a bit of a dip buy, but there's 26. I actually got some out at 30 there as a snap reaction, just sort of offering wherever it was. 550, look, 525, 550, that kind of a thing. I'll start getting out in front of it because I'm not usually trying to hold these things for $2 parabolic moves, maybe like 10% or something like that at the most. If 550 breaks, call it 75, call it 6 even, I'm very likely not going to have shares if it gets to $6, guys. But there's a break on that AACG. It looks like getting out of the short was half right. No, mostly wrong. I mean, I could have had a good win all the way to VWAP, which is usually the retracement that I wanted. But there's a long break. I said at some point I have to join them, and that's a pure momentum play because I know shorts are going to get broken, ones like me previously.
Guys, diamond hands again. Here we go. One of my new favorite ones. There it is, diamond hands. You can see we held that skills right there. We talked about it when it was down here, and I was like, you know what, maybe 34.50 is going to be our out, but it turns out that that was a great bouncing spot. Now we're going to try to go back to the high of the day. Just a $2, just a $3 win right now on skills, guys. And $1, we're holding that. We're trying to have those diamonds as well on Qualcomm, back down to the downside here. The only thing that we should have really had diamond hands on was PayPal, but PayPal, like I said, the #1 stock here on the board today for either of us was PayPal, and what a great trade that was. 265, 264. We absolutely, like, you guys wanted the sticky note, and I mean, I tweeted it out. I'll put that tweet, I'll put that link in the chat. Look what I said for PayPal. Will it hold 265? Will it? 265, first long. Next long, 264.43. Bang, right to the upside, so a big trade there. And then not only that, I mean, forget about those trades. Those are great trades, and it just happens that, you know, we got out a little too early, was defending that 269. But when 269 came, man, that was a good trade as well. Out 270, 270.50, and then it rips at 274. So diamond hands we had, but not so diamond. But Qualcomm right now to the downside. And then Ford, we rinsed out of that one at 40. It had a problem. So we are very, very light now, and Ford going to get the rest out here off that 40 fail, guys.
And we'll go with, I don't know what some of these are, but we got some new graphics for you. We'll go this one. On the way up, it's going to be Sava. If you haven't noticed that stock moving to the upside recently. I talked about a pullback into VWAP. I was able to get some shares there in front of 115. Picked up 116, so I said I'll scalp some off in front of 110. Still trying to hold, and I still have an offer in front of that 120 level. So if it does make another move higher, I'm not holding for the 115 high, I'm holding for 120. Probably going to have to take this one off if it breaks 103, and then look to defend that 92 bottom if it happens to get there, guys. So still involved in that Sava position to the long side. It is still working. Qualcomm is also in the money, but 148. It's like the fourth time, maybe even the fifth, that it's holding a 148 bottom. That just means if it breaks, that 147 is almost a lock. For potential winner in there. Pen basically flat. We've already made some coin to the short side there. Hanging on to the winners and then sort of taking off the ones that are the hits. I just got out of AACG. AACG, the rest of it is it came right back down below that 5 even mark. And Sundial still heading southbound, so much for that 135 break. Maybe I should have shorted it, but that wasn't the look.
Yep, skills. I'm debating getting out right now on skills at some point here. Maybe break of 37 back down. We'll get rid of these diamond hands soon because if it breaks, there it goes. If it breaks back, I mean, I didn't get out. I didn't set the order up. But if it did break through that 37, that looked like a good little spot there. So let's put some offers out and get out. But we got to throw it back over to Brendan for happening now, guys.
10 o'clock, let's have a look at North American markets, guys. Nicely positive once again today, right across the board. S&P 500, 0.5%. You can see the Dow leading today. A little bit of a change over the past couple of sessions. The Dow 0.75, the NASDAQ here only 0.3%. The composite and the 100 also in positive territory. The Russell small caps 0.6% here in Toronto, about 0.4%. Equally slow, so to the downside if you're down in Brazil, about 0.4% in negative territory. A couple of things from the watch list still to pay attention to here. NEO, really tight consolidation on the daily chart. Did try and test above 59, failed. We're back to 58 here, but I was noticing some buyers stepping up at 58 for NIO. DraftKings as well. Same story, got sold down to 61, but trying to get back through 62 to the upside, guys, for DKNG.
So it's a bit of a mixed result. I don't know. What do I want to put here? I'll go with this action. But Sava, it just took me out. Guys, this is not a short sell. I mean, I'm going to be bullish for the position and not necessarily for the direction because it just took me out. I said if it broke that VWAP in 105, I'd get out. That's my order getting out. My sell was a take profit, so it's just it's going to show a short. I'm not sitting in Sava short. You'd see that on the board if I had it. But on the other hand, Qualcomm made an attempt It finally, for real, broke through that 148 and then just immediately comes right back in. Now, if I hadn't taken this last leg out in front of 148, I'd probably be taking it out here after that failed break. But I've already taken that profit. I'm going to hang on to it still. I still think we can get to that 147. I still have my stop for 150 for the last of this short here at 49.69. So there's not too much of a reason to panic here. I would be trimming it if I hadn't already taken some profit though. After that failed break so far at 148, gonna get a bid in front of 147 just to see if we can get taken out on any kind of a big time flush there. Obviously, we talked about Qualcomm being the negative side. There it is. There's a break. Finally, Qualcomm. It took forever, but sometimes you have to let these things work themselves out. We're only a half an hour into the session. That's why I'm not really panicking with Penn either. But Penn, 2-3 times it's held 111.15. Same story. I had been taking shares out at the bottom end of this range each time. So I am going to be holding on, and I should cancel this bid. This bid should be on the north side of 111. And then the last leg out, we're going to try and see if we can't get a bigger move to the downside on Penn. It's finally starting to go. Just had to wait some of these out a little bit here. After it failed broke through 115. I like that short. I liked it when it came back and couldn't take 115 again. There we go. We finally got some out there. I'm going to go with, what is this key? I don't know what the heck this one is, but why not? Let's go with it. We just got like a nice $2.50 winner on Penn. Last entry is up at 114.5, so hopefully a $5 winner in the last of it. That's some weird monster that Rob came up with. I have no idea what it means. I guess it means a winning trade. I have no idea. Oh, no, Pinterest.
Rob told you what it meant. It was one of those psychedelic things, I think, that I heard him tell you.
Do I have to trade Mind Med if I want to hit that key?
No, just a psychedelic walking guy there. So.
Okay.
Okay, we went long on NEO. That failed, but we did go short finally on Palantir. We talked about that one. So it's basically going to be a wash here on these names, but 31.90 to the downside. We just got some out at 60 there. We talked about Palantir being weak. Obviously, this market is weak as well. So we are coming back down right here. I talked about it being a positive and looking to go negative on the day, but NEO, it broke through VWAP. We took it and we missed. So that's a big miss there for us. And yeah, $2 winner, I'll hit it. A $2 winner on the downside now. Still going on Qualcomm. We had 150 short, we had 149 short, and now, guys, it's 147.60 in change right here to the downside. The only real problem there was we got out of NEO probably a bit too early. I still like it. Probably going to go one more time, 58.55 long.
So, I mean, right before we went away from my screen here, I was just looking at Pinterest on this like $4 move to the downside, pulling back in. There was a flush off the open yesterday that held the 74 level. So look, there was consolidation before, boom, holds that low, makes another run up to the upside here. I'm looking at 74 as a bit of a hard bottom, potentially. It's a couple of dollars away from here. We just turned negative on the NASDAQ, so I mean, obviously there is some downside sentiment on the day. The ES actually in a bit of an upward trend. So I'm still looking at a 74. If it gets down there on Pinterest, I'll likely make a trade there. Come on, Qualcomm. Why did I not get that fill? Are you kidding me, Brennan?
Another one, guys, just popping back up on a volume scanner here. Clover Health, we mentioned, big flush down to 12, but just breaking above that last little pivot there, 1280 on a volume spike, so still down 8%. But as we've seen, with these short seller reports, it's looking a little more buyable at this point for Clover.
All right, Jim Boxer, you want it, you're asking for it. Do we still have the money one? Here we go.
Money.
There it is. Let's go, guys. That's what we're making today. It's money time central here. And I'm going to keep jinxing myself, but we're on a crazy run. I think I got a message from compliance. It's something like 4 negative days in the last 108 days or something like that of trading. So what a great little run we're on right now as Ford just continues to go to the high side there. Look at that out. 43. Give me a break. That was fantastic. Wish we would have had more. Oh, yeah. This is why we're on the runs, guys. You want another old animation? Throw the hot dogs around, baby. Because right now, we are coming to the downside. There's 46s coming in now on Palantir. 40-cent win on Palantir. We took out skills to pay some bills at 37 break. So that comes out as well. And Ford upside, Palantir upside. The only thing that we screwed up was NEO so far today. Only one red stock on the board for your boy. What up, Santa? Bring me some good luck.
And the first time, look, I don't think I got traded through there, but 147 12. It just bounced off my order in Qualcomm. The second time through, I'm just going to take it out, get manual in there, and not give up that extra 10 cents. So I'm out of the Qualcomm trade. Going to be all done with this for now. I'm just hanging on to Penn National Gaming here. It just bounced off 112 again. And I keep talking about taking some profit each time it comes down to that low. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Only it has to break this 110 for me to get my next level down. So taking out what I will, I'll give it to the lower high. This is like a 114.75, so I'll give it back to that. I'm willing, and much like this is just like Qualcomm, I was willing to lose 35 to 40 cents on the last little bit. I'm willing to lose 35 to 40 cents to chase the $5 win here on Penn. So we can come all the way back, and I'll take a hit on the last 20% of the position. I'll still be positive on the stock, but I want to let this one ride just a little bit. The thesis is still working out.
Yeah, we got a lot of theses. Thesis?
Thesi? I have no idea.
Working on here. Yeah, thesi maybe. That's obviously not right, but maybe it is right. 3150. Brendan's, I think, this is the smartest one, so he'll tell us what the right spelling of that is, or pronunciation there. Multiple thesis? Maybe that's right. Okay. Anyways, back to trading. Palantir, we just took some out there. I did put some bids down 3130. We'll wait to see. I have a bid coming. Come on, run into me. There we go. We get that trade there. So we have a bid on the downside. Yeah, I didn't hit it. 3132 there was the bid. We're going to watch out for that. And yeah, you want some fall money to fall down right now. Look at Qualcomm right here, guys. As Qualcomm, I mean, if there was one trade, I keep going back to the sticky note. You want it, you're going to get it again. Look at Qualcomm. Which one has the stars on the sticky note, guys? Which one? Qualcomm. Get out of here. Let's go, Brendo.
Another earnings name here, guys. Hire Car reported aftermarket. Starting to get back to the upside. It was negative. You can see aftermarket, but some buyers coming in here. Watch 14. Bit of a pivot yesterday and in the pre-market here for HYRE.
Now we didn't talk about Nokia. They had earnings as well, guys. Not exactly a blowout, but it is falling back to the downside. I'm just watching. It's some stair-step action to the downside after holding a 455 at the top, and I mean holding it on the offer. Anytime I see a long consolidation like this, I look for a potential break. If it holds, and if it holds 444, 443, this current bid offer for another like 5 or 10 minutes, I almost like to break in either direction on a Nokia. It's one of those scalp trades that we gotta love. That Lizzie that Luis mentioned, watch out for the double top here at 1380. It's putting in a lower high. I'm going long through 1380. I'm shorting off to this level. It looks like it's rolling over a little bit. This is a good day trading stock, but the spread on a $13 name, 5 to 10 cents at a time, just opened up to like 15 for a split second there. So watch out. You have to make sure your stop order is, I guess, adjusting to the fact you have to cross a little bit deeper, even though it's a cheaper name.
All right, so we did, it paid up a little bit there for Peloton, I want to talk about Peloton, for Palantir there. We're going to watch it just continue to drop down, and we still got that $3, so bang for all of you guys right now. We're also going to, come on, let's go. We've got to get some Hydration Nation here. Always make sure you got your water going. It's a cheat. I just filled it up. I forgot yesterday again. I have drank no water today. Sorry about that, wife. We will get on to some water very, very soon. 148 is going to be my out on Qualcomm. Let's let it run, guys. We always hit the diamond hands, but this just set up too smooth today on Qualcomm. It was an easy trade. We did have to hold it against us $2 or $3, but not even. I don't think that wick, that wick probably happened, 151, 152, but we had a 152 break, so we didn't get out on that one. The only negative stock today is NEO, but I'm really, we tried the long twice. We hit it here. We should have took this 40 cents, but we only got it apart, and then we lost it. So that's a basic, not really a negative trade, but this one is the one that hurt because we thought it was going to go, broke through VWAP. We didn't even get a good price. 58.55 rips, breaks down VWAP again. We noticed the breakdown. We get out there at that 30 break. Hallelujah. Because
another one, guys, just popping up here. CCL, there's some cancellations. Further cancellations coming through right now. As far as CCL, they're talking about their Alaskan voyages through right through to spring. I think it was March or April they were talking about for cancellation. So just a heads up if you're watching some of these cruise lines right now.
And still monitoring that drop in Pinterest. Like I said, 74 is kind of the hard bottom. If it breaks 75, I'm going to start getting into position on that particular name. Penn's still holding on for dear life, but I think Pinterest drop. It's on actual serious volume here, and it's actually maintaining it a little bit. So I would anticipate that it could pick me up at some point. I wasn't going to have bids just sort of sitting on the way down, but it's getting juicy enough that I just want to make sure that I have a little something if this one goes down any further. Some of you guys, well, maybe a lot of you are still watching what I think is turned into a bit of a sleepy name, and that's going to be that GameStop. It's actually below that 85. I did try this once. I said it would come back. If it came back to 85, I would give it a shot. But that was literally short right in front of it and then out. So basically in and out, almost flat on GameStop there when it tried to take out that or hold that 85. It ends up holding 86.5. This is going to be one of these sort of breakout plays that I'm going to use as a like afternoon or a bit later on in the session. Call it like a momentum, not a squeeze. I don't think it'll be a squeeze, but a momentum push to the upside. When it makes one of these highs on a pullback, a lot of times, and there was a good one yesterday, where you get a bit like this little punch trade. It breaks 86.50. You're just looking to take like a couple of dollars out of it, in and out fast. This is not like I'm going long 86.50. It's going to 100. This is I'm going long 86.50. It probably turns before 90. I'm just going to get in and out as fast as I can because we have that advantage. So I'm getting that loaded and ready to go. Not at 85, at 86.50. This recent high that got put in.
Okay, we're going to get out a little bit more. I mean, I just tweeted it out. And remember, if you rewind the tape, let's go. I'm at 11s, baby. Oh, it stops at 12s? Okay. Hopefully I get 11s at some point. Did I get 11s? No, I did not. Okay, thought I would have there. We were bidding 31.11 randomly, just ahead of 31.10, and it stops at 31.12. Irrelevant. 70-cent win right here. And I just tweeted it out, guys, that I said earlier on, if you listen to me, what I was talking about Palantir, I'm a huge Palantir bull, but I said today that we're only looking one way, and that was short. So we took that 31.90 break. There it is, a beautiful 75-cent win right there. So it's hot dogs everywhere for us, more than 75 cents there, 76 cents there on Palantir. Get out at 11, cash it in right now for that. And again, we got out of a lot of them ahead of that 50 mark, but then when it broke 50, we took some more on the downside and then just took out a little bit. Now we hold that last 10%. Obviously, no diamond hands. We should have held a little bit more on that stock, but we didn't. And then just to check back on Ford now as well. Oops, call this up here so you can see it. Ford, a great trade. And as you can see, this is how I trade, guys. And again, you know, every one of us, me, Neil, Brennan, we all use different share sizes. So we plan our trades accordingly. Like if I only had a couple hundred shares, probably would have held this. But based on the position I did have, we getting out here for all for profits. And look, if you could just even put a couple $100 into your pocket on every single trade, like look what I am today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 symbols, 6 for 7, over 133 fills. So you can imagine the kind of day that we're having, guys.
Just want to come back to Fisker. I mean, we talked about this name. Well, Brennan brought it up. You said you hope it's up. It is to the upside. It's not a huge amount, but another one of these consolidations higher. Now, if you have a bit of a bias, if I had a short bias, I'd be looking for this to play against like a bull flag or whatever you want to call it, and short this play. If you have a long bias, you're looking for a break through 1550 at the top. So that's what I'm going to be not chasing, but looking for a 1550 break. Add that to the GameStop 86.50 to the upside. Looks like Penn pulled back a little bit. It's still in the money here, like $1.20, $1.30, but that could be coming back up to that 115. I'm not going long through that break. I'm just covering the short that I have. Brendan?
Crazy one from yesterday, that Lizzie just popping back up here at day highs. Huge volume, actually, as we broke through 12, straight through 13 and back down again. But heads up on Lizzie, guys. Another 50% for this one.
Yuck.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't break the top. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Lizzie, we talked about that with Lewis. I think he said that was his #1 stock for his office. The other, what did I just get out of there? Something just printed me there. Oh, Ford at 40. Okay, so another 4-cent win there on Ford. We're long at 11.36. How our P&L? You can see our P&L at the bottom. It's P&L per trade. So like when I just take 4 cents there on Ford and I take 4 cents again, it's going to show 8. We just don't have a better way to show that to you guys. So that's why we put these marks on. And you're only going to see one trade, one stock where these marks don't equal cash money on the upside, and that would be NEO right now. Palantir, look, it tried 31 break. It didn't happen there. We only have 5% left. We got out of a little bit there. Yeah, 5 or 10%, 5% left. Sorry if I said 10 before, but we did get out right there, so that leaves us with 5, and we're going to wait for a 31 break. I don't know if that does happen, but one thing I am noticing right now, and I threw my sticky note away, okay, because I'm an idiot. But if you do notice here on Twitter, and we're going to show this to you one more time, you guys asked for the sticky note. 75 likes already on this sticky note, guys. Look at this, Qualcomm, the big trade right there on the board. We talked about that. There's our Ford. We talked about that as well. eBay, we haven't looked at that. NEO, that was a perfect high. Dipped to 57. That's what we're doing right now. And that was a short on Palantir if it ever got to 33. But look at this one in the middle. The number one stock on the both of them, Qualcomm number 2, I think, and PayPal number 1, both right here, right in the middle. The big stocks, everything else, good to go. Follow me at Trader TV Sean, and it's pinned at the top of our chat at Trader TV Live. A good follow as well.
Definitely a good follow. So a couple of things here. That Lizzie, I did have a top break there, and then when Brennan, and I love the fact that he brought this to my attention, bouncing off VWAP. I'm going to take a break through 1250. It's like exactly to the dime that it's bounced off twice. If it can't take out the high, then let's see if we can't use momentum to take out the low. You talk about, you can call it diamond hands, whatever you want. Certainly, you have to hold on to trades if you want to get those bigger winners, and that's part of the reason why I'm trying to give this some more room. On pen, it's still holding the same range. I've been getting out at the bottom end of the range. It's creeping back upside, but I have to be willing to let this one go against me and break that 115 if I'm going to get a shot that this takes out the low. I'm already going to be up on the stock no matter what, but let's see if we can't run it a little bit further to downside. It is coming up. I'm not taking a long reversal at 115. The high of the day at 116 would make a heck of a lot more sense to break the trend to the upside and have me get out of my short and go long. It'll be 16 long, 115 cover the short.
Okay, guys. Yeah, Rocket. Thank you, Ken H. There on the chat. We just bigged you up on the chat as well. So a big thank you to Ken H. Rocket companies making moves, guys. Remember, Super Bowl, they have tons of ads going through that as well. And then you do have, I thought their earnings were Feb 9th, so I have some Feb 12 calls, which might expire out of the money, but I also have March calls as well. Rocket earnings coming. I think they're going to be monstrous. We've heard what's talked about in the refinancing section as far as new homes, new home sales. I like Rocket. Unfortunately, I didn't look at it this morning, but I'm hella long Rocket. And you guys, again, I know you watch for the wins on the show, but also, man, just on a daily here, I love what Rocket was doing down here. And then we had some more consolidations. This does not look right because it only goes back to January. But Rocket does have some consolidations down here and now to the upside. So I do like Rocket Mortgage. I don't know. I got to refresh this chart because this is not what the Rocket Daily looks like, but we still like it.
It tells you enough of the story, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
hopefully breaking this 2250, Neil, is what we need.
That's the thing. Sometimes the daily chart, you don't even need to see the whole thing. You just see enough to show you that little breakout. There we go, flying, and that is a heck of a push there. But either way, I don't have I would hit something specific for Fisker, but I just don't have it. So 1550 did break. No breakdown in Lizzie, but a break up here in Fisker. Hit it at 52. I did scalp some out for 10 cents. There was an interesting set of orders on the offer at 1662, which may or may not have pulled, but either way, I got out in front of them. It got up to 70s. I'm going to hold the rest, see if we can get to 16 even. And while I go ahead and do that, let's go to Brennan now for the small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at a few small cap names moving around in the pre-market. AACG. This was a crazy one. Up significantly yesterday. This thing was $1.40, $1.30-ish. We're all the way up to $5.50, $5.60 at the top end this morning. Be very careful if you're trading this. Very thin with a wide range here. So there was a couple of levels I was looking at in the pre-market here. $4 stood out. Obviously, the first time I tested that ended up being resistant. So that gave you a shot early on. Had to get out of that because it was immediately through 5 and then to 5.50 if you did not. So heads up at 550. Looks like there's sellers up there. We did break down through 5 significantly on volume, so might be the top. Watch 550 on AACG. THTX, very slow mover, but pretty stress-free. It's just been grinding to the downside since we got this pop in the free market. So working my way out of that one on the way down for THTX. And I'll show you AMC if I can shift over one more time. There we go. Very obviously heading towards the open, the weakest of that group this morning, although GME did give you a huge move to the downside. But 870 down to 8 here, bounced off 8. But look, we're starting to roll over again here for AMC. Guys, back to you.
Yeah.
And wow, yeah, GameStop just broke 80, and I was trying to break down trade like it breaks 80. You try to get some at like 80s or 90s or maybe even 70s, whatever you can. No liquidity, just immediately went down to like 50. It looks like it's continuing to fall down. I don't have I've replaced it with Penn because I'm in Penn. I don't actually have that one up on my chart to see AMC right now, Sean, but GameStop just broke through 80 even. It looks like that sell-off is sort of continuing a little bit here today. If you're tracking that name, just watch out. Those bids are starting to get flushed. We showed the winners and the losers. I thought there'd be more activity in Kodak if it had broke higher. There was no squeeze whatsoever at a short and a long. Neither one of them worked. It does feel like now, if it breaks that 1050 area, there's probably going to be a bit of a sell-off. But I'll wait till later on in the session, closer to lunchtime, to work into that one. Sometimes in Kodak, the trade is a little bit better later on in the session. Just tracking back. Now consolidation on Fisker at that 61, 62 level. So maybe there is someone selling some shares at a random price. Either way, I'm now hanging on to in front of that 16 even, and then I'll reevaluate when it gets to that even dollar level, guys.
Yeah, we don't have Fisker on the show, but we got that in our account. Okay, AMC was a mistake. You see the in and out there? Not a mistake. We got triggered in on this move upside. And I keep talking about our stop orders, and I keep saying I'm going to try to find a better one, but we get triggered in on these dark pools. So that's an in and out, so I still yet to make a trade. But I like this break right now, man. 815, 816, basically the low of the day right here coming. We could see 8 on an 8 break. We go ham as well on that break. So let's wait to see if I do get this short on AMC. I mean, got to hold it back. I mean, at least to this 835-ish level right there. So we're gonna see about that one. See if we can't hold that for a little bit of a longer move here on AMC. It looks like we'll get short on this break. Neil just talked about GameStop as well, heading to the downside.
Sean, Lizzie, I mean, again, and I hate to say this, but like it's real, so I can't pretend that I got the fill at 1250. 1250, I just talked about this on Lizzie getting the short. It broke. That's my order. I did not get the fill down there, and it can be difficult when you're trading these names. And I even said to you guys that Lizzie, for a $12, $13 stock at the time, the spread 10, 15, 20 cents. I thought I was aggressive enough with the order. I didn't get it. GameStop was sort of the same thing there. I didn't want to chase it too far because these are stocks that can have some a bullish trend to them. If it's a fail breakdown and the buy steps into it, you don't want to be chasing it too far and then losing twice as much as you expected. Depending on how many shares you took and what your risk parameters are. I don't want that to happen to me when the trend was up on Lizzie. So maybe I could have crossed down to 1225 on a 1250 break. I didn't. Clearly the wrong decision, but I'm going to stand by it. Looks like it might be worth the defense if it comes back into VWAP, but I'd much rather short here, 65, 70 in front of 13, than short in front of 1250, just because it has been a bullish stock.
Okay, so as we were saying, yeah, good call there on Lizzie. Good analysis anyways. We'll get that trade hopefully after. Okay, so right now we are short AMC. We talked about that one. We're now 7-8 cents in the money. There it is. A beautiful out. Oh, where did I just get filled there? 9s only. Okay, I thought we got 5s there. We have some bids done to the low side there. I thought it tanked all the way to the low side there. So we'll wait to get some 5 bids. But once again, guys, yeah, we're doing it again every single day. You want this logo, we'll just keep spinning it, man. Only one negative stock today, Neil, we traded 10. Yeah, to say it's a money kind of day, we're feeling it. We've been feeling trading for a long time, man. 19 years we're in this game right now, and we've had some incredible runs, but probably one of the best runs is right now that we're on, like I just said there. Only a handful of negative days, guys. And I mean, the market's been great. I hope you're having just as much, I don't consider it luck when you know what you're doing, but just as much profits as we've been doing here on the show for you guys lately. Also, a $4 winner right now in Qualcomm, just touched down 146. I'm going to switch my out to 147, guys.
Yeah, just notice that, off the bottom here, Sundown, usually I would try to say this before it even happened, but I want to make sure I got the fill and actually remove liquidity on this trade. Breaking through the low was Sundown. Held 123 over and over again. It then just broke through that 125. Bit of a wall there. So gonna see if we can't get back up to the 130. Now, if you're trading this name, you got to look at the liquidity here and just say to yourself, okay, 5 cents are good moves on this stock. So if it can actually go through 27 and 28, I'm likely to be flat. If it comes back down, you cannot let this go through. Trading this style, I cannot let this go through 123. If I'm going to be taking it out, every penny on the way to 27, 28, 29, definitely all out in front of 30. I can't let 123 break, otherwise the risk to reward makes 0 sense on the trade. So if I thought it was going to 140 on this move and I was willing to hold for that long, then yes, maybe you're risking more than 2 cents on the trade, but not in this particular case. But Sundial, first trade for me today. And it isn't the 130 break, 135 break, which looked so good when it was up there. It just never happened, guys.
All right, I'm starting to get some more and more out here on AMC as that's continuing to go down. Watch out for this $8 break. It looks like it's going to happen very, very soon. So, yeah, it's been a negative day for anybody looking at AMC. It had a positive day yesterday, AMC, but not today as it's down that 10%. We saw GameStop go as well. Here comes $8, man. We're short at 8.16, so the pins just lined up for us, man, and we bowled a strike on this one. Huge position and a huge win right now. Here comes $8. Breaking right now, Brendan. What's up, bud?
Man, I wish I had that. Great trade. HOL, we talked about this one 2 days ago, moving higher again today, guys. This is a SPAC. So they're merging with that Astra company. So another 12% here just popped up on significant volume once again through that high for HOL.
Dying.
Not need to do that one. Okay, here we go. $8. Looks like it's going to break right now. We have a short to get short through that. It is SSR. I don't know if I'm going to get short, so we will try to hold a little bit of these on the downside right now just to see. I mean, normally I would get them all out now, but I don't know if I can reload the short on this break. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's AMC. We are short 16. Thank you, Brendan, for the compliment there. That was a good trade through that day's low at the time. I mean, these are days low, but I don't really consider that. That was a blowout low there. So we look at a real low that it's touched before, 8.15, 8.16. But it does look like it is resisting this right now through 8. So maybe take off another piece.
Yeah, I actually just got out of when I looked over the GameStop chart and I just saw this continue to fall down. So it's actually got to 75. So it's a full like $10 from that 85 level we're consolidating. The 80 break, I mean, almost insulated downside. AMC actually holding up better, for lack of a better word. But if this continues, it's probably going to chase a little bit. And that's why I got out of Sundial for a half-cent hit. Not wanting to be caught in a long while this is happening. I mean, there's further consolidation in GameStop happening again. Just to go to a higher time frame so you guys can quickly see. If GameStop, and this is a key level, below this range, $60 would be that next stop to the downside. If you remember, there was some speculation. Either way, when the whole Citron thing happened, 60 was a bit of a level after that. If we break 75, it just feels like that's the next stop. I missed the 80 break, despite saying gotta have it, because I didn't cross far enough. The 75 break, I'm gonna cross a little bit deeper on that one.
Okay, so we switch up our game a little bit here on NEO. Boom, and thank God we did that. Hit the sirens again. Let's just keep the party going right now. NEO, big time short. We make the money back now. Let's go. We're not making it back yet. We're hoping to make this back on a nice little move to the downside. A nice out there 65. We break the low of the day on NEO. Look, again, man, I hate taking some of these stocks to the short side because I know there's a lot of people long, but that was a great break there. Out some there. Let's wait to see what it does at 50 now and then wait for some more downside. I was giving it all the way to this break again, 58.10. So we'd like to see it continue to fall to the downside. Oh yeah, Qualcomm now. $4 in the money. Oh, there's one here I want to hit because we haven't even thrown to Miss V in forever. So here's a little reminder that she's still in the ball game there. What up, Miss V? Your Superman is here. 146, tanking to the downside, man. We've got all the winners today, barbecuing up profits. We cannot forget about some of the old animations because they've brought us this kind of luck as we go. AMC, we're unable to get more short, guys. Our order goes out. We try to get that 97. We miss it. But bang, AMC, we hold some of that all the way down into the 90s and continue to go down. Neil, that was the easiest short ever. Did you get any? Neil.
I just missed 75. I'm watching GameStop, not AMC right now. And GameStop, I tried 80s. I told you guys about that. I tried 75. This time I'm going to leave my order to see if I can get lucky. But that is absolutely cratering. When I talk about lack of liquidity, each one of these drops, almost like a full $1 each time. It's crazy. I mean, this is my order. I crossed all the way down here and didn't even get anything. Brennan?
Yeah.
YCBD, guys. Let's go to cannabis land. Little cannabis name, YCBD, just popping up here on a huge volume spike. This is recent highs. Did get above 5 there. You can see on the daily chart. Quite a 4-day move here for YCBD. Apparently, they added a former FDA official to their advisory board. So positive for YCBD. It's 10:30. Valeria, speaking of Valeria, she's watching what's going on over in Europe this morning. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European shares are mixed. Earnings and coronavirus remain in focus. Unilever trading in London is down more than 6% after reporting full-year result. Back to you.
Yeah, I just saw Clorox as well, guys, reported earnings. Another one moving today, guys.
Okay, so Neil and I both missing the initial break, guys, and that's why, honestly, I was saying it live as I was doing it, right? I said I'm taking some out there at 8, and I wanted to hold that because I knew that if 8 broke, it was going to be slippery for me to get or not to get shares. So I only crossed down 3 pennies. I only crossed to 97. The amount of shares that I was trying to get were too many to me to cross all the way down to 90s, right? So I didn't do that, which is fine. Obviously, I regret it because it did go down as low as 82, but we cashed out, man. 87s, and 95s off of that big trade. So a big trade there at 15, and that's what happens when you miss a trade, you miss a trade. Honestly, I hate to do it as well, but that's what we're doing. We're in the business here. We're not going to get every single trade, but one trade that we did get that we're pretty happy about, and we didn't get the bottoms, but that was NEO 57.78. We're going to try to hold this one just like we're holding once again, guys. Hey, speaking of Valeria, like Batman again here as we continue to hold our Qualcomm. I'm going to get out at 46 if it breaks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll actually still holding that pen as well, but that's actually finally broken that 112 area. So it went like 250 in the money. I'm still looking for more like a 109, 110 area to the downside. So a couple more bucks I'm looking for on pen. Now, I said this when these other stocks were cratering and you saw AMC and GameStop. If you don't get the breakout trade, a breakout trade is a breakout trade or a breakdown trade. You want to be in, you want to be out. If you're taking an even dollar break, I cancel my order if it doesn't fill. I don't want it on the way back up when the momentum's in the other direction. But I did want out of Sundial the second I saw that move. I just didn't. It's not worth it to give up an extra couple of pennies here when you're sizing up on a stock like this. So it was 25 in. I did get some out almost immediately on the offer, and then just took the half out. And again, this is just a save from a flush. If this level, which has been holding all morning, 123, broke while the sell-off is going on in some of these other stocks, I'm just not sitting there expecting a stock to have a 2-cent range, make 4 or 5 pennies, and then hang on to what could be like a 5 to 10 cent hit to the downside. Just to let you guys know, I mean, Nokia was kind of following some of these meme stock names. Not much of a flush there. Of course, they had earnings as well, but that went like 2 cents while the other ones were going crazy parabolic to that downside. GameStop has since come back, turned at 79, and is still a bit of a southbound range. If I see another breakdown trade, I'm probably going to still try to take it, but there's a limit to how far I'm crossing down. There's always a price you don't want to pay. I don't use market orders ever. Pretty much. I always have an aggressive limit order. So that means if you miss a trade, you miss a trade, and you've got to be willing to miss that trade so that you don't get some ridiculous price that's outside of your risk to reward bounds. If you're crossing down $1.50 and you get like 73.50 on a break of 75 and then it fails, you've just shorted the absolute low of the day and you can get crushed. That's what I'm trying not to do.
All right. Just looking here as NEO, I was just again, what a good, we just got 53s, and now it comes to the high side there. So we're going to hold this one. We have 0 LFT. What that means is we're at our highest spot we've been at all day, and we have 1 negative stock on the board. Let's review. AMC, 815 short. That's a winner, right, guys? Ford. Enough said. NEO, our only loser today, and it's not even that bad. I mean, the loser looks very similar to this winner. So, but honestly, we're going to talk about that. Palantir, bang, that's the short. I'm just clicking my stocks alphabetically here. PayPal, can't get any better than this. The largest stock here today traded on the show, 274. Big one, big winner there. We could have been multiple X times our wins on that one. Qualcomm, we just took that out for a $4 winner, short. Needless to say, the rest is history. And then Skills paid some bills, 35 long and out. So there it is. Reviewed 7 stocks for you, 1 loser. Put it on the board. Brendan.
Skills, yeah, what a move that was for that one. Let's have a look at what's coming up in just under 40 minutes. We'll call it, TraceSafe coming by, guys. The topic of tracking because of the pandemic, definitely top of mind these days. TraceSafe has great technology when it comes to getting that accomplished and also safely getting it accomplished. So, Wayne Lloyd, CEO of TraceSafe, coming up at 11:15, guys.
This is actually it's a really, really interesting business. And look, we have a lot of fantastic guests. This one I think you're going to want to be paying attention to. We're going to go back over to what seems like it's turning into a sleepy trade. There's no adjustment to be made here, but I will say I'm getting very close to tightening the stop up just a little bit on pen. It's holding this low a little bit too well to my liking. If I hadn't taken profit, I'd be taking another leg out. The next time it dips to 112, it's putting in a higher low here at 112. Before it was dipping to 111 and then bouncing off that, and that's where I was getting out. Now I can't even get it down to now it can't even get down to 111 for me. And there's always the opportunity. If you get out of the trade here at VWAP and take profit of $1.50, if you're short up at the top here, you can always get back in on a break of 111 because of the spread on Penn. And if you're holding in the money and the stock has like a 20-30 cent spread and it's troubling to get in on the break, I'd rather just hold to make sure I have the position as opposed to chasing that level. If it was a tighter stock, maybe I'd get out and then try to get back in when it goes lower. Brendan.
When we were looking at yesterday, guys, this AREC, big move up here on volume, held 410 at the bottom and straight through to 510 now on volume coming in for AREC, up 13% again, guys.
ARC. Okay, yeah, we're looking around here, trying to make some money, trying to make some decent trades for you guys. We still have that AMC on board, so we're watching that just to see how low it goes. You know what? I mean, we could punch this bottom through, but I think like what Neil was saying makes a lot of sense too. You got to watch GameStop and what GameStop is doing, right? So let's just quickly look over there. I've just been crushing, like I've been absolutely destroying AMC, as you guys should know, and I've not been doing well on GameStop. So I do as we preach here, and I stay on the names that are cash money for me. And GameStop hasn't been, but AMC has been. And you know what, man? Where the hell is that diamond hands thing? Because right now we hold on. Bang! Do we ever hold, man? Turn bearish. Look, sometimes I'm a bull, sometimes I'm a bear, but right now on NEO, hello, my only losing stock. Look what's up now, NEO, coming to the downside. A nice little move here. Let's take some of this off. A 50-cent win here. Ho-hum.
Look, I was just going to the higher time frame on AREC because we were trading this one and looking at it heavily yesterday. But here is right at the 515 top. Yesterday's action, and then it's stalling shy of that. So usually and pretty much always I'm going to take it. It goes parabolic into a previous resistance level. I almost got to have it. I didn't quite catch this when it got to $5. I just went to the higher time frame first. If I just punched short at that time, yes, would be in a winning trade, but I wouldn't be as certain about it if I hadn't had that little bit of a look there, guys. So obviously this is good to know. If you had that one up already, it was an obvious sort of turn when you looked at that previous high, but I wasn't going to punch into it blind and assume that 5 to 15 was there. It turns out that it would have been right, but that's not always the right way to go about things, guys. I'd rather miss out on a trade and be certain about the levels that I'm looking at. Certainly this was a good one at 515. That also means if it bounces here and breaks 515, yesterday's high, it's going to be worth a look for an upside trade once again, even though it's already gone parabolic once.
Okay, so good out there, 30s. Damn it, we didn't get anything at the very, very bottom there of NEO. So yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait now to see if we get some of those teens. But I'm just gonna cancel my upside stops now because we don't have to worry about those because we just crushed it right there on NIO. So a good little trade there. Still negative on it. Still gonna be our worst stock of the day because we went twice here. So 2 losers, 1 winner there. Are the only negative name on the board here today. So a good trade there. I don't know. You know what? I like Ford. We're long Ford in our own account. I think 675, 680, 78, something like that. But today, honestly, a little disappointing. I mean, we made money on it. It's a big stock for me. Super happy with it. But at the same time, I did think really that we were going to break. As you can see, we held. Like, I've gotten out more here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like basically 60% was trying to hold for this move to the high side. Just didn't happen. We put on a lot of risk here on Ford. It didn't happen through the high side. Still a nice little win. We just had visions. Hey, WandaVision. We had vision of a little bit higher than this, and we could check out some Disney too as we talk about WandaVision. My kids,
great show.
8 years old, 9 years old. Hey, happy birthday! Just turned. I just talked about that the other day. 9 and 6, and they're asking me like, when is WandaVision on again? So they're liking it. Good job, Disney. Did I hear Brendan or no? Yes, he's saying bring it. So he's bringing it. Let's go, Bren.
It is 10:40, guys. Let's have a look at the S&P 500 here, see what is in charge so far today. Typical for earnings season, you get a lot of individual names making outside range type of moves. QCOM here, we talked about that. CTSH as well, downside. So 9.8% for Qualcomm, CTSH 6% to the downside. But this group, the tech group, still in positive territory, being helped a lot by PayPal here, obviously 6.8%. FTNT, MAGPNV, just to name a few. MU, MU, some of the semiconductors as well, helping to offset those individual declines. So tech shares are strong. Look at the banking sector as well. Again today, the entire group here pretty much in positive territory outside of Ben, who reported a little bank downside for them on earnings. L Brands, eBay, Etsy, GPS, TJX, and BBY, 2.5% all the way up to 9% to the upside for L Brands. So retailers, very, very strong. The only negative ones here, it's tough to see, I know, but the hotels. So LVS and Wynn both down about 1.5% on the day, offsetting that. But consumer discretionary shares also in positive territory, as are the industrials. Airlines here, different from the hotels, in positive territory, 2+% right across the board for the airlines. Far corner, way over here, we're seeing some negativity in the materials sector today as well. APD, IP, and ALB, all 4 to 7% downside moves for them. Energy stocks, where did they go? Down here, Apache, NOV, and HES as well, offsetting a little bit. Overall, though, nicely positive for the overall market, guys. Now 0.5% to the upside. Back to you.
So every now and then you miss the first trade. We talked about the levels here, and we're going to get it a second time on AREC. There we go. Talked about that 5 even, the 515 area. It does bounce back, so it gives me an entry at 494. I try to get more shares, but it's up 5%, but it is short sell restricted. Remember, that rule applies to if it happened the day before or there's a move of 10% to the downside. It goes SSR for the next day as well, so could not hit the bid unless I get an uptake there. That was my issue. I just got some out at 475, so quick 20-cent scalp. If it comes back, look, there was all kinds of consolidation at the pre-market high at 450 as a top. So 100% will I get the rest of it out in front of that 450 level. But either way, sometimes you miss out on a trade, and that's your only shot to get it. Every now and then, it gives you another look at that price or a similar trade. We're fortunate to get that one there in AREC. So thank you to that stock. Just also want to come back to Fisker. It's going to be a mixed result for me on this one. Frustrating trade because I noticed there was someone selling at 1562. I probably should have taken that opportunity to scalp some out in front of the 75. I didn't. And then, of course, it breaks VWAP here and hold it all the way back down to 1525 without a reload. So I'll go negative on that stock, unfortunately. It did hold that 25 level, so maybe I should have held my stop in, but it triggered mine. So there must have been some kind of a print below 25 to get me out of it. You know, I'm not going to just rush back in, even though I don't see a print lower. I'm just going to assume that it happened. I could have just jumped back into the long trade, but I was too busy looking over at that AREC for a better opportunity there. Thank you very much, Thomas, for the super chat. It's been a wild and crazy active morning, guys, and I don't think it's going to be done yet. If you guys are still tracking that GameStop move, it pulled back into 80 and still looking like it's heading southbound, but it's calmed down just a little bit. It was going nuts when it broke that 80 the first time.
Yeah, and just like AMC here, the same kind of ways on the downside here. When we're ready for Valeria, give me a shout, and we're ready. Okay, so I was just noticing this, and I don't want to steal Valeria's thunder here, but 10,000 watching, Valeria, only 2,000 likes. Are you still alive over there? What's going on?
I am alive, thank you, Sean, but super upset. Guys, we're here for you every day, and we really need to know you enjoy the show. Please spend 1 second of your time and hit thumbs up. Back to Sean.
Okay, good. So we'll start watching this. I mean, look, our record, I think, is like 5,000 or 6,000. Obviously, we're not going to get to that today, but it's been such a monster day. We go 7 for 8, 8 for 9, whatever the hell it is, and only 2.3K likes. I think we need to get more, guys. So let's just keep on doing that. And yeah, hopefully, you've had some of those big wins with us today as well. And we're going to keep doing this because, look, we're trying to adjust right now. I love that diamond hands. I mean, I know it's a meme thing and it's about GameStop and AMC and everything, but you could have diamond hands just trading anything. And right now, Neo, look at this trade, guys. We're holding it for this 57 break. I do have a bid here in the teens somewhere. We'll see if that gets filled. Obviously, it's lower than 14 or 15 because we just didn't get that 15 fill there. So we'll wait to see if it comes back to the downside. But this is a 50-cent win right now on Neo. And then, yeah, I did get out a little bit on that 8 break, but now we're holding a very, very small piece, 10% left of AMC, and we're going to see how far this one wants to go. I'm very, very scared to go short at 780 down here because of the bounce pretty strong backside there, but I definitely think breaking lows is always worth going here. So we're going to do that on AMC as well. That's going to be my next one, 782. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to give a big thank you. We missed a couple people here. Thomas, thank you so much for the $10, man. That means a hell of a lot to us. Just that you guys are supporting us. We do the show for free, right? And not only is it the best show on YouTube, best trading show, I don't know if it's the best show or not, but I think probably it is. My kids would think it would be some Minecraft something probably, or Roblox. But thank you so much for Jason Watkins. You like the show. Okay. So we'll try to do our best to get you to love the show. But thank you so much for all of those super chats. And again, okay, PayPal's going up. I see you, Francisco, there in the chat. Yeah, we've already hammered this one and absolutely crushed it. Look at a VWAP break to the downside. We haven't been back in, but yeah. Good call, Francisco. Let's just have a quick look to see where we want to get back long. Maybe this break, there could be a 267 bottom, 266.50 break, but this movement to the downside is not what we like for this name. So yeah, we played the momentum high side and got out. Should have held it for everything, but hey man, we're 5 times, but I got to up that daily goal right now. Big day here, guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with this weird key that I just saw there. And look, there's an element to luck of missing the first trade and then being able to catch the same level and be able to use it to your advantage. That's what happens in AREC. So like I said, get the rest out in front of that 450 instead of holding for the home run trade. So we'll go like 40-cent win on the second half, 20-cent win on the first half. Nothing crazy about it. I mean, just sort of obvious. I mean, halfway to VWAP and that 450, I'm going to get some out, and then I'm going to get the rest out on the bottom half, guys. So that's the structure of that trade. There is an IPO to that SANA. I don't know too much about it, but I just saw and actually not apologies, but thank you to all of you for letting us know about that. Usually we like IPOs of a certain size, and that one missed me on the radar. So SANA, it's not open yet. Going to look into it to see how big it is and whether it's going to be an actionable trade. I do want to come back into Lizzie. Just for a split second, worthy noting, this 1250 that I wanted for the breakdown, missed the trade. It does come back down to this dip price, 1165, holds once, holds twice, now trying to bake back above VWAP, so you can probably guess what's going to be next. I want to take a 1250 break long into 1280 to 13 even. Certainly it held up pretty well. It's been a bullish stock in the last couple of sessions. Let's see if the 1250 can hold up nicely for a breakout trade. Hopefully we'll actually get the fill this time. Nothing too crazy on level 2 when I scroll down, but I did see the 20, 30,000 shares the first time I looked. If it's still there, probably worth a bit of a break if people are going to sell through this breakout price. Or, yeah, sell.
All right, guys. All right, let's just keep on going here, guys. 790, 792, 805, 807. So I have a bid down here. I am going to take out the rest of these if we get down to 785 or so.
Oh, come on.
Just because, again, I don't know if it breaks the bottom. And I do think that AMC still has some love for it. So, I don't know. I mean, I talked about giving a fair value of GameStop like $25, $30. My opinion, I didn't read that anywhere or anything. I just think it got started, a lot of this got started 10, 11, 12. They did have Ryan Cohen come on board, restructuring a little bit there on their business model and whatnot. So I think GameStop has that. And then the same kind of thing for AMC, although obviously, shout out to Josh. Again, like, why is the daily chart not going back? I bought some calls down here, $2, but the thing about it is, I do think, this is the squeeze there, and then it really got ramped. I still think AMC has like a fair value of like 4, 5, 6. If I could load this a little bit longer, I'd show you. I'm going to clear the cache and then see if that helps with this chart. But here comes AMC on the chart on the level 2, back down to day's low. We're going to get out here. I think it's 84, 85, 84 is my bid. So here it comes. Let's see if it breaks that bottom as well.
Yeah, just sort of tracking some of those, all those names together. But that Lizzie got it on the way back in, not the way up. I'm telling you, 1250 broke, and then the offer was like 75 instantly. So always a price you're not willing to pay. I was able to catch some shares when it pulled back in at 55. So in that particular case, I got the long. Obviously 75, a bit of a wall there. You can see there's someone selling at like 70 even. I'll let that break. If it breaks 70 even, I hope to get out on the north side of that for at least some of my position. And then if it continues higher, look at that high of the day. I still like the top break if it ever gets there. I'm not going to necessarily bet on it at this breakout. I'd look for like a 25 to 30 on the second half of the position currently on Lizzie. So I did just get that long. I'm still holding pen. It doesn't seem like it wants to go any further. But like I said, I've already taken the profit where we will. it's starting to really, really tighten up and look like it wants to go. So what I'm going to do is continue with the same line. I'll give it to this high where I got in. It's not going to be 115. It'll be like 114.75. That's a very, very minor change. It's the same basic area, but tightening it up just a little bit, given how relatively strong it's starting to look. And I still like the 116 break. Even if it happens in the afternoon, could be like a power hour type of play. Last hour of the day, sometimes even like the last hour and a half. That'd just be technical there. But either way, going to wait for that one. On Pinterest did not drop into 74. It looks like it turned at 75 even. So no bottom pick. I was looking for it, but I had a specific price that I liked. I wanted long in front of 74. It turns around at 75. So no entry for me there.
Okay, next break there. We just talked about AMC. I actually got out at 87. Oh, get rid of that. Oh, see, I cleared the cache and now it's loading. So good job. Excuse me, there on AMC. We got to take some more water. We got out there at 87 as it bounced and went back to 90. So we did take out the last piece there. And what's the difference? 87, 84. Doesn't matter. We only had that, I think it was 5% or 10% left on that trade. So sometimes it's hard for me to remember how many shares we had. But now we're going to wait for this break to the bottom. I said that would be my next trade. So it is. We're going to wait for that to break the bottom here. 782 coming right now. A check back on GME. So I missed the 9 break, right? So we're going to try to take this one and see if we get a GME also looking at bottoms of 72. So AMC's where I bred my, here we go. Yeah, see, I'm trying to get short right now and it's not letting me. So it is short sale restricted, but Money Talked with Brendan, and I'm going to try to get short.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at what's moving around in the currency world today. I'm going to talk about the pound here. This is a daily chart of the British pound versus the US dollar. Just wanted to highlight there was a big move down this morning, down to 135.5 again. We're seeing some strength coming back into the US dollar market, though. They're talking about optimism surrounding the US economy, with Biden still working on some sort of stimulus package to come. So you can see pretty negative at the top end of the board here. The euro 0.5%. Back below 120 once again for the euro to the downside. The Canadian dollar 0.4%. We're back below 78, 77.9 again. The British pound is positive now, but as I mentioned, back to 135.5 early on this morning before this recent little bump back higher. Both the Japanese yen, Swiss franc 0.5% to the upside. All of these then to the downside this morning. Swiss franc, Australian dollar, Swiss franc is higher. Australian dollar, Turkish lira, New Zealand, all downside with the US dollar strength. Bitcoin and Ethereum finally getting a pullback. We've had a pretty strong week in cryptocurrencies. So both are negative. Ripple, though, bucking the trend here, 2% to the upside. Back to 40 cents, guys, for Ripple.
It's good. Yeah, my long on Ripple, 31 cents there in all that chaos. But yeah, we loaded up, man. We just went manual there. Forget about the stop orders. You could have had the shares at 81, so that's what we took. We took some 81 shares there, 81 short. And now look again, guys, we ride the bears like normally I'm going long, but today a lot of money being made on the short side, especially on AMC, as it's getting flushed. Flush, young fella, flush. And the money, Neil, just keeps on coming in for us today. So, yeah, hell.
Sometimes, look, man, sometimes you got to follow the leader. Like, I've chased GameStop. Like, and I even said in our little chat here, I was like, I got to stop trading GameStop because AMC, you actually get the fills. And that 81, you could actually catch it manually. Lots of orders that we have certainly fill. I'm going to hold on to a quarter, because I took 81 as well. Going to hold on to a quarter for a bit of a deeper move here, just because it's hard to get the short. GameStop I saw continuing to flush, and there was probably an opportunity to take that trade when it took out the low of the day at 74, but I didn't choose to go that route because AMC was giving Sean the good fill, so why not jump over to that party? I am monitoring GameStop. If it does a big pullback, I'd probably get out of the rest of this here on that AMC. And watch out for Penn. That one could come all the way back to break even. It's looking like it's picked up a bit of a bid here, guys. So I've been sitting in the short, made money short, but that could be a reversal coming up.
Okay, here we go, guys. Yeah, still to the downside on AMC. And again, we did take some out. And again, we trade with different amounts of share sizes, guys. So like right there, 760, I'm catching that out, but I'm agreeing with Neil that we should be able to go to the downside now. So we're going to hold on to half of our trade now and see what that does. So right now to the downside's coming AMC. So let's just wait to see. There really is no downside targets for me on this stock. Again, it looks like the daily chart did load there. So 760. There is some tops. This is what I mean about where the possible fair value is on AMC. Like we've already been up here to set it back in August and September, if I can speak properly, down to $7. So that could be a good little spot there. 7.16. We did tick down to 6. But I mean, we're not looking at this 6 or even this 7 because those are like crazy frenzies. So I think we can get one now as well if it does break. So we're going to look for 7, to be honest with you, maybe 7.20. Get some out around 7.50 and then see if we can hold the rest for 7.20. But AMC, big time stock today as I've been bearish only on AMC today.
Yeah, and look, that's the thing. Like sometimes having a bit of a bias can come into play. GameStop's going to break 71 now. It's going to try. Now, obviously, it's been tricky to get any shares. I'm still kind of trying this one to see if I can get the breakdown trades. But 70 is going to be key. 70.50 is the current low here. If you can see, we've already broken through that Feb 1 bottom here, and that was like 74. So if we break 70, I showed you guys 60 looks. 60 looks like the next logical step, which is probably a bigger gap than some of the moves that have happened even just in the last couple of minutes here. So it is starting to fall off a little faster. This all really started, the second leg started when that 80 broke, and then it's been the floodgates sort of opening back up. Bit of a bounce happening, but it's really like 50, 60 cents, not enough to get out of this AMC, which is still heading northbound. Oh, yeah, that AREC, oh my goodness. As I was going over to AMC, the stock I was monitoring to see if there was a pullback to get me short again was an AREC. Gonna have to throw that one away. If it gets below that 450 range, this could turn into what Kodak was yesterday, which is like you're short in the afternoon all day long. Not there yet, but below 450, that could be the play in AREC.
All right, we got 3.1. Okay, there we go. All right, so AMC, we just took some more off at 60. Oh, that's still the daily chart. We just took some more off at 60.61 there. Our next bid is like 54 to get some out in the 50s, and then we'll wait for 50 to break. So as this has been happening, unfortunately, look, like if you add this all up, man, we have less than 10%, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So we have 10% left right now of NEO. I have bids, like I tried to get some 40s and 50s when I noticed it was going back up. It missed me. Should have just marketed them out, but it's no big deal. We haven't done well on this stock today. It's in fact the only negative stock that we have on the board today. So good on us for that, but it's coming back to the upside right now. I think if I can just get one more piece out here at 60 and take an 18-cent win on this, we'll probably do that. So I'm gonna put another bid at 60 and then see if we can get back into the 40s. That's my play on NEO. What's up, Brent?
Cinedigm, guys, another one of the theater operators just popping up here. Recent highs coming up to $2. They announced a big, let me double check here, $7 million registered direct offering this morning. So more financing coming through for CIDM. It's up 20% today.
Attaboy, Cinedigm. Just going to come back to Pinterest. Now, we're talking about this one like 74, dip down there, maybe you're going to catch it. 75, round number, whatever. It's more of a gap fill type of idea. Now, it's been a somewhat sleepy stock if you look at the daily chart, but in the last few sessions, I mean, Pinterest has made a bit of a bounce, and it's like, 15% type of move to the upside. So it's not that it wasn't necessarily due for a bit of a correction here. It's just a little bit more rapid than I was anticipating. If it holds this leg, and I'm still going to like it if it goes down to 74. I think that's going to be a better play. But if we can hold this level, hold the line at 75, I'm going to look for sort of recent consolidation breakout on Pinterest, which just to show you guys, will be right here at 76.25. That's about 20, 30 cents away. GameStop just bounced to the upside there. So I didn't have a stop on AMC for the last of my position, but GameStop bouncing to the upside, that'll get me out basically flat. I was looking at one to get out of the other. But now going to look for 76.25 long on Pinterest. It's made a temporary low at 75. Look to play that upside. The market trying to hold up here. I mean, we're up like 0.3% NASDAQ, 0.5% on the ES. The ES just came off the high of the day, however. So there is some chance that we don't get this break and we break 75. In Pinterest, in that case, it's long in front of 74. That was the original play. Brendan.
Double checking on CGC. We've seen a number of cannabis names moving higher today. This one, not so much. 1.7%. There was a headline I saw this morning that they launched a new CBD line for pets, guys, specifically dogs, they were saying, with dog chews. So CGC, downside today.
Yeah, I was talking with my father about that. We got him into CGC at like $20. So he's pretty happy right now. Okay, we tried to reload our NEO there. I don't know what happened. Like I was bidding. Oh, it didn't get that high. That's why. I'm trying to reload here at 88 or so on AMC to the short side. So, but yeah, this is why we cash out, guys. Like this is what we do here on the show. Like in and then just people say, oh, I hear Sean hitting the mouse like a million times. Yeah, again, it's the amount of shares I have and then all of these outs. Like just not wanting to not take 20 cents on this. Like our days are huge right now. I've had 201 trades. We have 0 LFT. Our highest spot all day is right now. Hey, I thought I put a bid at 60 on NEO. I guess I did not, but a nice little move to the backside here as we remain bearish on NEO. Let's put a bid right now around 50. Take out that 25 cents right now on NEO and then watch it fall down. A nice little 30-cent win right here on NEO.
There you go. I love going back to some of the. We talk about NEO being a great day trading stock, and this time of day, around 11 o'clock, sometimes you go to the ones with that good liquidity. Watch out, this GameStop. It looks like it's going to try to head through that 70. I am going to try it, but I have not got a single fill taking these breakdown trades, guys. But I'm still going to see if I can get it. I have up for you guys here Sundial, and when this turn happened in some of these the meme stops to the south side, remember I liked Sundial long off that 123. I changed the risk parameters of the trade because when the group started going down, Sundial has participated. I just didn't want the momentum, I can't ignore it. I was able to get out for a half-cent hit instead of, if I hold it, 5 or 10, 5 to 8, sorry. If I don't hold it, minimum 2 to 3 cents there, guys. I saw the reversal happening, so I just got out of it right away. Now, I didn't have the bearish sentiment today on Sundial. That's why I didn't reverse to the short. But sometimes it's about saving yourself some coin just as much as making it is going to be important. As I said it, GameStop just bounced off of 70. So why do I have 2 stop orders there? Let's cancel one of them. I don't need 2. Hopefully the first one will fill if 70 breaks on GameStop. Time for our European update. It's 11 o'clock. Let's go to Miss V.
Guys, European shares are mostly in a positive territory at this hour. Germany is up 0.78%. France is up 0.71%. Russia is up 0.85%. And Spain is up 1.12%. BBVA Bank trading in Spain is up almost 8% after agreeing to sell its bank service wholly. Back to the traders.
All right, thank you, Miss V, as we continue to go here and try to make a little bit of money for you guys on the show. So auto cancel off. Just looking to watch out for AMC as it comes right back to the downside there. Should have took some more out at 65, but like I said, now we're pretty light, man. We have only 20% left of this trade. So we did try to reload it at 88. We missed, we get 85. Someone said Wall Street Bets guys are buying it on the hour. At the hour, something like that. So I don't know if that's true, but we'll wait to see 11 o'clock. I guess that was a nice little bid there. Where's the 10 o'clock buy then? Okay, yeah, I guess it started going up. Well, there's 10 o'clock right there, yeah, so really not too much, but that was a nice little buy there. So we'll see if that's true. Maybe that's true. We learn stuff from you guys every single day, so let's watch out to see if it catches some bids down here, 760. It looks like it will. I'm going to put another one, 766 or so, to get out of that 65 bottom. So let's get out of a little bit more there, just in case we do see some sort of a refresh here.
That is a bold plan, buying every hour on the hour there. Cotton, let's see how it works out for them. That seems a little strange to me, but like I said, that 70 is holding, and the timing of the bounce is not entirely crazy. So maybe there is something to it. That AREC, the first time, good. Second time, I'm not going to take 480. If it comes and breaks this level here, I'll look for it to, if it fails, 495 was around that high, $5. If it fails shy of that, then I might jump into a short. I'm still looking at this one for short below that 450 mark. I'm waiting on Sundial. I want a bid on these other stocks before I would take a long in Sundial. I did like it before, but I'm going to try to be patient with it here while there's some downward momentum in some of these recent meme names. Brendan, what's up?
To this one during the sector watch there in the retail space, guys. TJX, wow, what a move this thing's had today. 4+%. Yeah, we're coming up to basically all-time highs here above 71.10 there. 70 a big deal as well, but 69.5 right now for TJX, up 4% today.
Not shorting that ARC move. This is, whoa. That was weird. I was trying to show you guys level 2. Maybe I still will get into it. 115,000 shares just decided to post on the bid on the way up and then disappear. So maybe they wanted the shares. Maybe they didn't really want 100,000 long at that price or to cover a short. Either way, That's what caused this move to the upside, and then it's starting to turn around. So look, that's enough for me if I'm going counter trend to get away from shorting a pop if I see a bid like that. And if I get shaken out, whatever. If you're holding a conviction long in that situation and you just happen to see a massive offer, you might not get spooked like that. But going against the trend, yeah, I'm going to play it a little bit on the cautious side and not get into that trade when I don't have to. But here comes starting to get a bit of a move up in GameStop. And so if that's going to be happening, I did like initially what Sundial was doing, holding that 123. And there is, of course, at least looking at yesterday anyways, this bottom at 117, which is it's holding. There was another low at 113 you have to watch out for, guys, so just pay attention to that. The liquidity is essentially through the roof, which means if you're trading this, it actually matters whether you get 18s or 19s long, in my personal opinion. And you're not getting 20, 30 cent moves in this stock. Very, very likely if you're day trading it, you're taking 2, 3, 4, 5 cents. So yeah, the spread's going to matter here. So if you're long in front of those lows, you want to make sure you're getting like a 117 half, a 118, not paying up through 119, unless you think it's going to be that big breakout trade, which 135 would have been. It just never happened.
Yeah, breakout trades are nice when they happen, that's for sure. We had some big ones today, and we'll continue to trade that style as well. AMC, like a glove, basically. I don't know what else to tell you guys here. Like I said, 67, 66, I was going to get out. That's exactly where we did. We got out there, then we got out on that 70 break, and I'm not shorting it anymore. I was going to short 88s. I'm not doing that. We're going to get out. I mean, we're still short. I mean, we're short 781 right here. It's literally nothing. We have 5% left. We got out bang, bang right there. Left a little bit just in case we were wrong, but it looks like we are wrong by holding. So let's just wait to see. I don't know, a 790. We're going to get out right now anyways. It doesn't even matter. It's such a small spot, but watch out for AMC. I like this break to the high side. Obviously, those of you that watch us all the time, you know that we use VWAP. So VWAP right up here at 815. So that would be something like right where we went short. What a coincidence right there. I like a long if we can get back to that spot. But not until then, we don't do that. So we're going to wait for 815 to get out of this, or to reverse long. I'm going to get out of this trade if it breaks through 90. What's up, Bren?
A few minutes away here, guys. Keep in mind, coming up at about 11:15. Yeah, great guest coming through once again. TraceSafe. We're going to talk about contact tracing. Going to be a reality in this pandemic world and also post-pandemic. Great technology coming through with TraceSafe and Wayne Lloyd, CEO, in a few minutes here, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And look, this is certainly. Oh, sorry. Right now? What was that? Okay, I don't know what was going on there for 1 second. New position alert, guys. Just got into that Pinterest on the 76.25 break. Got 83s and change. Bit of a dark pool fill at the midpoint there, so we'll see. I like to see if we can't get back into VWAP here. I'll definitely take some off in front of this 76.70 afternoon, bit of an afternoon top, or bottom, I should say, and then some consolidation a bit earlier on in the day at that price. So got to take some profit when I see that level. I talked about making sure you get a good price on that sundial, so I went ahead and got some at the midpoint at that 18.5 instead of paying all the way to 19. If you don't have access to those, understandable. It's tricky to trade a stock like Sundial, which is doing 300 million shares in a tight range without access to midpoints and some of the gateways that we have here, guys. Pinterest starting to go, so I should make sure that I get some orders out here just in case it smokes to the upside, because we just broke the high of the day on the ES. We were just talking about it there, so maybe that'll drag pins up. I don't know that it's going to matter too much for Pinterest in particular. What it has done, of course, is I remember I did adjust that stop. We had the short all morning long. Last entry was at 114.40. It broke that 75. I get out. Look, I might have made top wick in the day. Still going to be up on the stock, but it's going to happen to you. If you're not willing to make the top wick sometimes on a move, then you're not risk managing. It's always going to happen from time to time. It's not bad luck. It just means there might have been a little something to that level that you were using there. And yeah, it looks like it might turn around on me here. But yeah, Pinterest, the last of it. Sorry, Penn, the last of it, I am out, and might have been out at that high. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. Looks like Pins is going in the money, and then a bit of a tick up there on Sundial. So it did go up from this 18.19 to like 19.20. If it breaks 20 even, I'm going to start taking this trade out all the way up to that previous 23. Now, this was the floor before, so if it turns into a ceiling, I do anticipate that's a decent possibility. I'll want to make sure I'm taking profit going into that level.
Brendan, I know we discussed our guest a little bit the other day. It's very trace safe. I mean, look at the bounce it had. So it's now well above, like it's on the CSE right now. Brendan will have more details about that. We talked about the CEO, like talk about getting big hitters. CEO coming through, trace safe. Very interesting, exciting for the space. A tech service company right now. Look at this. 70 cents is the 50-period moving average. We're well above that. Look at it bounce off of it right there as well. Break to the upside. You're laughing right now, has some high potentials, but right now just in that little consolidation area. Let's hear more about them and you can decide if you like trace safe or not, but that interview coming up very, very soon. A big one, pretty excited for it as well. So, okay, NEO to the downside. We talked about NEO, like look at this stock. Talk about riding the 50-period moving average, like, you know, and I didn't just draw this on here. This is a technical indicator that I hope from some of our viewers have learned about this since I've been on the show, or not on the show, we started the show, since you guys have been watching, like bounce, like bounce off there, bounce, and then it tried to pull back a little bit. But NEO, the reason why we talk about it is we basically did exactly as we preach, right? It comes right back down to 50. We knew that was probably going to get defended a little bit, so we did get out for a 25-cent win. Now we're only 5% left of NEO. My only negative stock today, guys, 8 stocks traded, 1 negative. We're at our highest spot of the day. Also AMC bouncing. Brendan, with something else?
Just checking on Amazon here, guys. Not much of a reaction. We're actually down again today on Amazon. Had a big move down yesterday following earnings. But apparently Rolling Stone is going to launch a video channel on Amazon's Twitch. So Rolling Stone teaming up with Amazon, it looks like, guys. But not much of a reaction here, guys.
Yeah, sorry, Sean and I, just because AMC was bouncing, but GameStop was retesting that 70 low, and it's like, look, it's bounced a couple of times here. And again, I'm going to try and get this to the short side, but the other way to play this, of course, is if it breaks and I can't get shares, I'm just anticipating that AMC is probably going to make a similar move to that downside, so I might just take that one if it hasn't broken the low, and then GameStop has. I'm not saying it's going to 60. Again, I'm just noticing that that's probably the next line in the sand, and if it fills that gap, that's probably worth a bit of a long defense into that move. But first things first, let's see if it breaks. If it can, I've missed 3 consecutive levels on GameStop trying to get that momentum break short. But AMC, there are shares to be had, at least to the downside anyways. And of course, I did get into that sundial position already. So got that long, and I have to watch that closely. 17 is a low. I got 18 halves long.
Yeah, the only AMC liquidity when it breaks is not good because, like, we tried to get this 8 break as well. Where did 8 break? Somewhere around here. I don't remember what the I think it was this level, wasn't it? 80. We didn't get filled on our initial AMC break, but here we go to the downside. I'm hearing some clapping. I hope you guys are trading it.
Oh, this is the first time I got it. So Sean,
I don't have it.
Wowzers! I actually got this one at 70.01. Which basically means this is, look, sometimes you're a little bit lucky. The level worked. Let's not split hairs. But I got 70.01 because a print probably triggered just before the level broke, allowing me to get the GameStop trade before it broke 70 even. So either way, I missed like 3 in a row, so I'll kind of take it. It's kind of like when you hit runner on the river after you've been getting like 2 outed, 3 outed over and over again. It's like the cards are due to give you some good luck. But there's GameStop. I'm going to hold on to this short. Probably to like a 65, but when it's a breakdown trade, I'm not looking to sit here, I'm going to be short GameStop for the rest of the day. No, this is just a pure momentum play. A level was breaking. I wanted to make sure I had it and play that momentum. If it breaks back above 70, I'm out. If it goes to 65, I'm out in front of it. That's usually the way I'm going to play it. Going to stick to that here.
Yeah, and we just took a little bit short on AMC too. Again, doesn't get any shares on the break, but we do have some shares now. So we will watch AMC breaking. We just took some 72s there. We tried to get 75 break, and that didn't work. So we will have to now just use our hands, which are not diamond hands, because I get in and out too fast on a lot of these stocks. But right now, a 65 bottom, that could come into play. I don't know if GameStop's reversing or not, but there you go, Neil. Sometimes if we complain enough, we get the shares like you just mentioned. So that was
I hope that's not how it works, because I don't want to have to complain every day.
No. But again, like you said, the trading gods sometimes reward you with shares. So good shirt on that one. And sometimes there's no liquidity, right? So that's the other thing. Obviously, I heard Greg and Prad had those 70 breaks as well, as most of you probably did as well. So there's GameStop 69 right now. So not a huge move to the downside, but yeah, you got to hold it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's actually consolidating at like this, yeah, 68, 69 as you mentioned. So I think it's if you can't get if you can't get a position like the liquidity is not there when it's in your favor, sometimes that's a reason why it's good for that bit of a hold. But I gotta go to Pinterest here because it's like the gods work one way, but they can work the other. I had this. You're gonna see like it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see this yellow line. That's actually my order on the offer in front of VWAP. Pinterest went right there. And then turn right around. So it's slightly out of the money, about as much as it went in the money for me. And it hasn't broken this higher low at 75.60. So I'm going to hang on to this trade, give it down to that 75.60 area if it breaks. Not going to give it to the 75 bottom. But I'm still going to get out in front of VWAP. I just missed it. It did go up there. My order was there. I just didn't get the fill, guys. So still holding the Pinterest long. Brendan.
All right, guys, yeah, in a world where we're dealing with this pandemic and will be for the foreseeable future and even post-pandemic, contact tracing is going to become a reality and more prominent and more commonly talked about going forward as we move towards a hopefully post-pandemic world. Wayne Lloyd is CEO of TraceSafe Incorporated and joins us today to talk about some exciting technology that the company has developed to assist in this hopefully eventually, Wayne, post-pandemic world. Thanks so much for joining us today. Why don't we start with a little bit about TraceSafe itself for those not really familiar with the company. Tell us how we got started.
Sure. So TraceSafe was a medical technology company, started originally to do infant tracking and maternity wards. So it was deployed in hospitals around the world to work with the most sensitive patients on earth, which is newborn babies. That was just pre-pandemic. And once the pandemic started, the realization is that wearable technology could play a huge role in the pandemic, to control the pandemic through contact tracing and otherwise, and in a post-pandemic world. So the first groups to reach out to the TraceSafe team were the Hong Kong government. They were the first to do an inbound quarantine program or inbound self-isolation program to get the virus under control. This is back in March, April of 2020, and that was their breakout order. It was for hundreds of thousands of units, and they've never looked back.
It's going, as I mentioned, lots of applications here, lots of different types of, purposes for this technology. You mentioned, one. Let's talk a little bit about how this is going to become more prominent going forward. Just from a sporting perspective, lots of people want to get back to, watching hockey games, watching baseball games. We have the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. Tell us how this technology is going to allow us to eventually do that.
Yeah, one of our biggest wins as a company was working on the World Junior Championships alongside TELUS. TELUS is one of the largest telcos in Canada. And what that was, inviting all the athletes into Edmonton for the tournament from 11 different countries. They did a self-isolation that was, where they used our wearable technology to make sure everybody stayed in their hotel rooms. And then they entered the bubble, and the bubble had the bubble credentials had our technology built into the actual credential itself. And that was their wearable technology that kept track to make sure if there was an outbreak at the facility or inside the bubble, that they'd be able to trace it back. We see varying degrees of this technology being used because it's very privacy preserving. These are things that only work at the venue, which is very different than an app. So this is just something that works while you're at the game, while you're at the sporting event, in the instance of fans coming back to the stadiums. And then once you're done, it's disposed of, they're recycled, and that's it. So really focusing on user experience enhancement and kind of this privacy protection angle, which we think is so important.
Let's talk about the corporate angle here as well. A lot of big corporations getting on board with this to not only understand how their employees are mingling with other employees and also traveling throughout business necessity. Tell us how going forward the corporate world is going to incorporate this technology.
So in the first instance, most of our customers are employers that have 5,000 or more employees. They typically have multiple sites around the world, and they're typically dealing with multiple health regulations in different jurisdictions. They need to have their employees be able to move across jurisdictions and adhere to the highest or strictest health protocols. So that's who we're seeing as our first adopters. But the reality is that wearable technology can play a massive role in all sorts of efficiencies across a corporate structure, including helping to measure employee well-being, helping to understand safety incidents or different things that are happening around the job sites, and helping to understand productivity and where and how employees can improve that. So really, you're seeing the wearable, although it's been deployed for a contact tracing purpose, most of the time through regulation, we're seeing huge traction around these new service verticals. Once you have the wearables in the workplace, they're discovering new, innovative, and exciting things that we can do with them. We're partnering with them to develop those features, and that is what's creating long-term value for both TraceSafe and the companies that we work with.
Okay, so people hear that word, wearable, we think, Fitbit or some sort of device that you put on your wrist or something along those lines. Let's maybe take a second here and explain the difference between, that geofencing term that is used versus maybe contact tracing, and what people need to understand between those two.
Yeah, so when we work with the governments and we do those quarantine management solutions or self-isolation, those are typically geofencing, and that is where your geolocation is de facto known. You have a GPS unit in the device, and they understand where you're self-isolating. That's one product category. We have an entirely different product category, which is what gets deployed to corporations and sporting events and other things. That has no GPS functionality built in. It's GPS-less location. It just works at the venue. And so in those instances, the devices themselves are self-aware and know the effective proximity away from your fellow coworkers or the fellow attendees at a game. And those devices, in the first instance, those devices can typically take the form factor of a wristband. But in the corporate world, people don't want to wear wristbands, and so we have tons of different form factors that effectively become invisible, blend into the user experience. They don't even know they're wearing them. I'll give you one quick example. In Singapore, we're working with the construction industry, and the device is just built straight into the hard hat. So you get to work, you put on your hard hat, you don't know anything, you're complying with safety regulations automatically, and you're part of this, effectively connected worker experience where your safety is enhanced because the device automatically knows the proximity away from, let's say, heavy machinery that might be swinging an arm around at you, so it can warn you in advance, and all these new exciting features.
Yeah, and also I would imagine anyways, on a manufacturing type application, when you're in a factory or something like that, working with heavy equipment, that same sort of idea would apply. Let's talk a little bit more about that post-pandemic type idea, and maybe give everyone a little bit of hope as to what is to come here. When it comes to taking a vacation, I would even think there's uses for this, and an application to come if you're on a resort or if you're in any kind of hotel situation that maybe is away from home, but might get us back into that ability to take vacations.
That's a great point. So one of our biggest verticals and biggest customers that we work with is the cruise ship industry. And we've recently integrated with Triton Software, which is the #1 medical ops company in the world. They cover about 95% of the cruise ship business and further into the maritime space, cargo ships as well. And what we're trying to do there is enhance the guest experience. You have a wristband or a lanyard or any sort of wearable device, mostly they're wristbands, and they not only do they do the contact tracing, but eventually they will become more of a guest experience device. So these are things that will hopefully open your room door, start to integrate with payments, and really we don't want this to feel like a safety thing. We don't want to feel like an obligation. We want it to feel like a guest enhancement and an enhanced experience. Disney has their Magic Band, and the Magic Band integrates with the food and beverage and everything else. So really what this is us taking the first steps for these hospitality companies, and that goes for the cruise ship industry, it goes for hotels and resorts everywhere, to be able to create that seamless Magic Band style experience where you have a single device that can do so many things, and it's really part of the convenience and enjoyment of your stay.
Wayne Lloyd, CEO of TraceSafe, joining us. Wayne, I want to touch on the stock itself. TSF, guys, if you want to check it out, listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange here in Toronto. Any plans going forward, Wayne, when it comes to maybe an uplisting or maybe a change as far as where the company is listed?
Yeah, so we originally started on a junior Canadian exchange here, and the growth inside the company has been explosive. So we've grown our revenues about 100% quarter over quarter since inception, and we're getting to the point now where it's starting to seem like it's time to potentially upgrade our exchange. And so we're having active discussions now about what our plan is going to be going forward, and we think that a senior exchange is probably the right place for us to land.
It's an exciting technology with, as we said, a lot of uses, important uses during the pandemic, but also post-pandemic as we head towards some sort of normalcy once again. Wayne Lloyd, CEO of TraceSafe. Best of luck going forward. I hope you'll come back and give us an update.
Thanks so much.
There we go, guys. A look at what is, a very exciting and up-and-coming technology will become very important, I feel, as we move towards that post-pandemic world, guys.
Yeah, I just can't stop staring at that 50 period on that chart there, Sean, that you pointed out on TraceSafe. So, we want to thank all of our guests that come through. And I think it's always important to understand that we trade, day trade, some people invest, swing trade, all of that is covered. Learning is the key aspect here. That's kind of our primary mission. That's how everything started. So why not learn about new not just new ventures, not just new companies, but also new sectors that are coming through. And obviously there's a change that's happened with COVID that I think this is going to be an important test. Now, some things did happen while we were doing the interview, so I just want to quickly update two, one good, one not. Pinterest finally does go up to that VWAP. I actually get the fill this time when it goes to 76.70. So quick 41 cents scalp trade. Now hanging on for the rest for about the 77.5 area. And nothing too scientific about that, just halfway from the break to the previous flush to the downside price, pre-market lows. Either way, I'm going to tighten my stop now. I was giving it back to like 75.60. Once I hit target, I'll give it to closer to break even. That's good. But for the second time, I got to hit this one because I was waiting for this to happen. Yeah, that's right. That's me fighting the poo, but I'm not winning the battle over here with Sundial, guys. I actually lost the battle. And this is twice, exactly the same look. I was picking the bottom on Sundial, looking for it to pick up some steam. Of those sort of squeeze play meme stocks attached to the cannabis space, which gave it a little bit of extra juice in terms of momentum. So I liked it off the low. I got the midpoints once. I got out when some of these stocks started cratering. Again, I took the midpoint down here in front of 17. Again, when it took the bid, I just got right out. Now I'm saving myself some money to the downside, and it doesn't look like it, like you're losing much, but this is like my second worst stock, believe it or not, even though it's like muted loss, like half a penny here, guys, but it's just, the liquidity is so gigantic. So you're going to maybe trade it with different share size when you're trading a name like this. And I know it looks nuts, but 300 million shares, so a few 100,000 on the bid or offer isn't really, notional value-wise, I mean, GameStop is chewing through more actual volume through some levels than you're seeing on Sundial at times. But either way, it's not going to be a good one for me just yet. Maybe it makes a little bit of a bottom at that 13, but that's the last level I'll probably defend on Sundial today. Speaking of GameStop, that's the one that went the other way here, and I know, Sean, you're in the short. There you go. Yeah, AMC. I got out of. I told you guys I'd get out in front of 65. Breakdown trade. I'm going to get out at those resistance points, halfway 67.50, all the way down 65. That's all I was looking to do. I finally got one at 70. I missed 75 and I missed 80. Thankfully, 70 came through. 65 for the break. Just came and went. Brendan.
The morning is flying by, guys. It is that time once again. We're going to have a look at what's coming up again, either aftermarket tonight or before the open tomorrow on the earnings board. And wow, there's a lot of them again.
Ooh, there's Ford. Yeah, I'm going to be loving Ford tomorrow for sure. I was long Peloton 118. We cashed out of that 155, still holding small percentage of that trade, so we'll see if Peloton can get going. I mean, Peloton's going to be the one, in my opinion, under the most pressure there because of the run it's been on and because it is a COVID name. It's a stay-at-home name. So, I mean, for me, I'm going to really be looking at Peloton tomorrow, and then Ford has been probably one of my best stocks to trade in a while. So I do like Ford and Pelotone there.
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, sometimes Activision Blizzard would be a good trade, but I'm just not seeing anything stand out over those two particular names there. Sean, you just mentioned in our chat there, JWN halted. I'm not sure the exact reason. Maybe we'll get to that in just a quick second. But did we just spoil it? Yeah, because obviously Miss V isn't here, but I'm making sure that we get the National Day up there so we can throw it to her and let you guys know what that is.
Okay, do we have the National Day? Here's JW. There you go. Hey, what's up, V?
Hey guys, thank you, Neil. And guys, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if so, don't forget to hit thumbs up. We will see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And happy National Girls and Women Sports Day.
Yes, I can get 1,000% behind that. I'm just going to do a shameless thing here and tell you my favorite all-time sports moment was cheering my wife on at the Age Group World Championships for triathlon. And it's a crazy sport. I would never do it in a million years, but honestly, it was like the coolest thing in the world to actually get to cheer for someone at an event like that with people from all around the world. It was awesome. We've got to see what's going on with that JWN before we get out of here. Can we go to Brennan?
Yeah, news pending, guys. So Nordstrom's halted here. News pending for Nordstrom's at 38.01.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now on a halt. And yeah, look, I mean, even my 6-year-old is a crazy athlete, and it's great to hear all of that. I did want to check back on Rocket as well, and yeah, congratulations to all the female athletes out there. If there wasn't a day before, obviously there should be one. So that's great, and especially hockey here in Canada is huge, and the females are fantastic in the U.S. as well, all over the place. So congratulations to everybody on a special day. Rocket does touch highs, 22.35. This is a play that I have. I'm pretty long on Rocket, both options and equity. So I like a lot. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Looks like something in regards to earnings, guys. Reiterating Q4 expectations or maybe earnings guidance here. So looks like they're coming out with some sort of guidance as far as their current quarter. Revenue expected to grow more than 25%, with digital sales representing the biggest chunk of that. So headlines coming in on JWN, guys.
I can't remember the last time. Right as a high break is happening, I mean, this is like a double top at 38, and it's exactly when they hold the stock. So you see something new every single day. That's why the markets are exciting. That's why we come to you guys live, and it's a lot of fun for us to do it. Thank you so much for all the support. Great learning experience. Thank you so much to our guest as well. Wowzers, I mean, the one day I don't short Sundial. There goes to that 110. Talked about not defending any more longs. I've given up on that stock, at least in the short term. Be very, very careful. GameStop heading towards that 60 level here. If it doesn't hold that, I'm not even sure where the bottom is going to be. For the entire team, Miss V, can't wait to have you back doing a fantastic job remote from a man, Sean Katina. Hang on to that AMC. It looks like it's going to be a pretty profitable trade if GameStop breaks that 60. For Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.